Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Derringers and Desperadoes. It's our D&D campaign set in the wild, weird West, and hope you guys are ready for whatever shenanigans Braden has planned for us this time. A few quick reminders as we get started. These are now YouTube exclusives, so we're not streaming them on Twitch, but you can find them as you have here on YouTube. So be sure that you, if you haven't already, hit like and subscribe. Make sure that you turn on your notifications, and anytime we put new content out, you guys will know. We are still doing our weekly live streams, and you can find that schedule on our Discord server. So be sure that you are checking that out as well. And we are we're going to keep posting those to the YouTube channel as well. That's all the time I'm going to take for this. We're going to roll right on into the episode right now. And so I am going to turn it over to our DM.
Hello, welcome back to Derringers and Desperadoes. Last we left off from our band of gang...
Our band of gangs.
Our band of gangs. Our gangs of Band-Aids. We saw Prof dealing with some problems back in Timber Pine that seemed to be heading in the rest of the party's general direction. We saw the party dealing with a fire-crazed fanatic who seems to have some dark things that has happened to them, dealing with them. They now gathered on a ridge, having rested and preparing for what happens next. As you guys spend the night, not much happens, though. As I said, you can't shake the feeling that you're being watched. Morning comes, the sunrise hitting your ridge first before hitting the rest of the small valley and the two rivers that converge to the one big. The day is yours.
Do you want help laying out that thing we found in the bottom of the trunk?
Do you want to do that here?
I don't see a reason not to at this point, although... Is there anything going on in town yet?
Make a perception check.
18.
18. Not so more or less than usual. For perspective, for you, it's about a mile from the ridge to the town.
Okay.
So, a decent bit of ways away, but you can still generally see.
I'll be using my rifle scope to just keep watch over the town most of the day.
Okay. Make a perception check then.
And I take it we have not actively seen them ride in yet.
Well, let's see what,
No, because they're coming for us, not them.
As far as we know.
That's going to be 21.
21?
Spend a hit die overnight. Or two, actually.
Oh, I should have healed you with the rest of my spell slots and then went to bed.
We get our hit dice back at the end of a long rest, right?
Correct.
Long
Just
rest being
not-
a week.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, how many do we get back after a short rest?
None.
You don't. You can only spend them on a short rest.
Yep.
Okay.
Because of our
You also
slight
only
hardcore.
get half your hit die back on a long rest. Unless we are changing that.
We're changing it so you get the full after the week.
Yeah. So you can only spend them on your short rests, which is...
A 21.
21.
You've never seen them, but you've been told what they semi-look like.
This is Lust and... I've met them.
You haven't.
In passing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was with Bellamy when they came on the road.
No, I thought that was Nate.
I thought that was Nate, too.
That was Nate.
Oh,
You were watching.
Right.
You were
Yes.
watching over Prof, who was in the camp.
That, you're right. Never mind.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've never seen them, but I do know them.
You've been given general descriptions, and you see, on a horse heading in from that road, you see a semi well put together woman with brownish, blondish, reddish, blackish hair.
As I say, with whatever color of hair I
Whatever
want.
hair that sort of scintillates. And on a horse following behind, you see just a body slumped on a horse.
So the question would be, do we want to deal with this right now?
Well, I haven't said anything about them
No,
being
I'm,
here.
he asked me.
Oh,
if I
well,
wanna
I
help.
mean, I figured we might as well pull it out, look at it. You can get more of a detail. Like, honestly,
Yeah.
we're up here just waiting for whatever.
Tell you what, best way I think I can have you help, he'll pull out his notebook and he'll sort of flip through them and he'll show you a picture of a leaf. You know, look around here, see if you can find any of these leaves. I will put them in a mask to help deal with some of the odor from this thing.
Is there a
It's just
single
mint.
tree on top of this, like, mesa?
Yeah, so
Yeah,
it's
there's
like
tons. It's mostly forest.
all
I
around
thought it
it's
was like-
forest.
I'm thinking
well,
like
you're on a
de-
ridge, but
I'm
there
thinking
also
like
can be
desert
trees on
ridge.
ridge.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Up in the mountains where we live by. There's like
Uh-huh.
ridges that have trees. It's similar.
Okay.
It's similar to the Rocky Mountain sort
Yeah,
of.
Okay,
this
gotcha,
is a,
gotcha.
this is a pine forest,
I
and
don't-
there's a little space around the
Yeah.
town that doesn't have trees.
I don't know why in my brain I'm thinking like complete desert.
No,
like
not this
I don't know
part.
why.
So,
yeah.
not this part. Not
Jared,
yet.
Yeah.
You know hardware?
Yeah.
So imagine hardware was a little
like
slightly bigger. It's sort of like that.
Okay. No, that's yeah. Okay, I'm on the same page. Absolutely.
So it's a brush plant, so it won't be tree tall.
Okay.
But if you wouldn't mind finding some of that, we'll get started. Meantime, unless does anybody have any objections? I'll take it a little way away from camp because it's gonna smell to high heaven.
I don't object. You need hands or anything?
You probably don't want your hands in this. I don't really want my
Fair.
hands in it.
Fair.
So
Quanta will come with you.
wait, isn't Quanta dead?
I can bring her back every time we take a short rest, as it
Okay.
were.
I will help you move the
Coming
trunk.
out from the woods, Quintus sort of kind of looks at you, gives like a small like nod, and kind of you get the impression she just like I understand it, but it hurt.
It was the right call.
It was
but-
the right call.
I will fish down in my pack and pull out some jerky and toss it to her.
I mean,
Sorry.
Forgiven.
you did just,
just like a little.
you just ended the suffering of the fire that was gonna kill it anyway.
But then I will help you move the trunk so you're not having to do it by yourself. I am not sticking around for you opening the trunk.
Yeah, no, I'll wait
Just-
until you're a distance away.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to deal with this.
So just are you just gonna keep it to yourself for now and just watch them?
Yep, I just want to see what happens.
All right.
I gotta look for a leaf
Make an investigation or nature.
or a nature.
Yeah, because it is nature based too.
They both use intelligence. I'm not sure.
I think both of them are the same. 15.
15. All right, you are able. What do you have a particular?
So I was thinking, like something that's got antibacterial properties,
Yeah.
and probably a smell.
Yeah. You're able to find the leaves that he's requesting.
Okay.
You come back with them,
Yeah.
and you begin.
Stuff that.
I don't know if there is a particular term for this, but you begin laying out the corpse and all of that.
I want to help because I'm interested.
I will have you
Oh yeah.
cover up. And
I will say that you're able to do this. It's just going to take time.
Yeah.
I'm also morbid as hell, so I'm probably gonna be like,
Part of what you
And
can't
and
smell.
we'll come back to what you find here in a minute.
I can actually
They
have you
enter
reference my
town.
book.
Oh yeah. I'll give a book.
Kind of lose them a little bit in the tent, but you're watching and you're pretty observant. As they go by, you see just an area of effect that is a considerable wonder. And it does seem that they go to like the big tent that's made of amalgamations of other tents that serves as like the local bar tavern gathering area. That seems to be where they're going.
I will watch to see if they leave.
Okay. For the next 3 hours, I think 3 hours is a decent amount of time for how long this would probably take. You lay out this corpse. Now,
And hopefully you don't get any of the bones in the wrong places, Mr. Paleontologist.
I mean, some of it, if it is a 7-foot tall bird, some
For-
of it is going to be a little iffy for now.
For the most part, it seems like most are intact or still like gathered within like the remains of what the skin would have been. But yeah, it is. You would estimate it to be about 7 feet tall. And it is not bird bones.
Damn,
It
that
is
creepy.
human bones, and as you're like looking at it, you can see like where the feet are have sort of, I don't know what the specific term is, but like broken a place, healed, and has slowly grown to fit like sort of the talon shape. Like hardened with calluses over to fit sort of like the talon base of where the feet would be. Like the bones have been broken. You can see where the ribs would be have not the ribs. About where the arms would be, you can see that have sort of cracked and formed as well to fit sort of the general shape of how wings work as well.
Are they as dense? Like bone birds generally are like, they say hollow. They're not actually hollow, but hollowish.
It seems like that has occurred, yes.
Okay.
But in a terrible way.
This was a person being slowly turned
Into
into
a
a bird.
Yeah.
Not
The
a bird person.
the skull is the most fascinating part because if you've ever seen an owl skull, they are very small. However, this it's like the human skull was sort of like disoriented so much that it's still semi-human skull-esque, but still with the sort of shaping of an owl head. It is pulled forward, down. The eye sockets sort of expanded much bigger. So
I don't like this. I don't like this even a little bit. I'm gonna wash my hands off a little bit and then take off my gloves. May I see that my journal again?
Well, of course, yeah.
Thank you. And I'm going to take a top-down sketch.
Yeah.
Whew. Yeah, this is real unnatural. In case that was
In case it
question.
wasn't like obvious.
Now this was a person at one point that was. Some of these look like they might have been forced externally, maybe.
So like somebody surgerized them and like made them this way.
Possibly, although I'm assuming I'm not seeing a lot of like scarring along the bone from like knives or anything.
mm-mm.
It was a form of metamorphosis.
Yeah, this was probably magical of some kind, and possibly very related to the bird feathers that were inside our priest. I don't like it.
So our priest friend, it was more like the bird was coming from the inside, though.
Yeah, well, and it's hard to say without more intact organic matter what might have started here. I don't have any lung matter that I can identify. It's goo. So, I mean, we don't know what the next steps might have been for the priest.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see any kind of changes for his bone structure, though, in the priest, right?
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know. This is a little outside of my usual expertise. Don't breathe too deep.
I settle back kind of for a second and try and reach out psychically to
Sure.
Mary, quite contrary.
Yeah.
And hey, other me, Miss Mary, nice lady.
You wouldn't happen to I'll get to you in a second. You wouldn't happen to have been in a burning building recently?
Well, as a matter of fact, I did have a bit of a break with reality in which I did end up, I think, swapping places with you for a moment.
Well, not necessarily. It gets complicated.
I'm saying all of this out loud.
And at this point, none of us are shocked.
Nope.
Nope.
Because of how I was made, occasionally I will sort of lose myself for a moment, and
Music, you feel it?
one of my head's other personalities will pop out occasionally, and it seems like you might have been that one
Well,
recently.
hopefully I did all right. Sorry if I did the wrong
From
thing.
what I heard, you did pretty well. Apologies. What can I help you with?
Well, at some point I'd love to have a conversation about whatever that weird spaghettified monster thing was that was jumping out the window, but...
I don't know what you're talking about. In the essence, I didn't see what it was.
Well, I just figured you were probably there before me, so you might have known something. That's okay. We can touch on that later. The kicking thing right now,
Mm-hmm.
that isn't so much kicking because it's dead, is,
For your thing, 19.
Oh, 19. You need to have a stick.
What's the second part of that? Either it's
It
what I
is.
roll, right?
Okay. Short or long rest. You do a D20 and a D4 and
Mhm.
record. They tell me the results except on a D4 that lands on a 4, in which case I am given false information.
Right.
I can replace any attack roll with the recorded value and hope that it's the correct information.
Okay, continue. I
So,
just decided to do that real quick because I remembered.
nope, that's a good idea because I had forgotten to. So, in your timeline, dimension, whatever it is,
Okay.
would you know anything about people becoming owls? Like,
Becoming owl?
yeah, like full-grown people starting to take on owlish ways
Let's
and
see.
body types and stuff. It's real unsettling.
She has a D8 under her knowledge
Some weird kind
skill.
of arcane
Okay.
tomfoolery.
Tomfoolery.
Sorry, she's not using your guys' system. She's using the 3-man system.
I actually really like that for NPC
Yeah.
usage. That's a cool thing.
Sorry, Mike. Well, yes, I have. Those are more urban legends than anything else.
I don't know that they're such legends. They might be urban. This one I don't think necessarily was. What is it you know? Because this one's a bit of a... It dumbfounds me a bit.
Well, there's an old folk story about the snake and the owl. Well, it depends on snake or eel or some kind of thing.
So a slithery thing and an
A
owl.
slither thing, an owl, and then some other small characters. It's from a very old, like, Germanic fairy tale, but other than that, no.
How's Fairy Tale go? That one's a new one for me.
Let me get back to you on that one. I might have to read that one.
Oh yeah, and
It's
certainly
been
if
a
you're in the
while.
middle of something, I gather that sometimes you get into the middle of stuff that I really shouldn't interrupt. So like, if I ever bug in on
Yeah,
time,
no, dark spaghetti monster. Still trying to track that down. So
Gotcha.
dealing with wherever he went. So
Is the fellow I dragged out okay?
oh yeah, Vern's all right.
Is it okay? So we like Vern.
Yeah, Vern's pretty good.
Good to know. Good to know. I was making sure. I was gonna feel like a damn fool if I had pulled that man out and he ended up being like your arch nemesis or some shit.
No, we're sort of. You hear sort of a small chuckle. We're sort of a thing right now, and I'm still trying to debate on how that works. But right now, I'm doing my own shit, and I'm glad you reached out because I was trying to figure out what happened last night because we were doing. Anyway, I will, for your sake, I will try to remember how that fairy tale goes.
I appreciate it.
Try calling me back in a little while, or messaging me in a little while. I'm just sort of in the middle of something right now, so.
Well, you have fun with whatever that is, I reckon.
I will give you the opportunity to try and figure out what she's doing right now.
Sure. Is
Okay.
there like what
Just
is
make
this?
a roll a d20 and add your spellcasting modifier.
Oh, okay, cool. That's cocked. Ooh. Plus 6, so that's gonna be 12.
12. Okay. It's not very a lot of detail, but you can just see that for the briefest moment you can see that Mary Shelley's hands are on some bars right now, as she's sort of talking to you. So before that gently fades.
Bless her heart. All right. Well,
She's in prison.
For arson.
hopefully that goes
Breaking
all
and
right
entering.
for her. So apparently there's some kind of a folk tale about this kind of thing. She's.
Oh, are you back to us now?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Oh,
Yeah, no, the
Sorry.
switch is always a little disconcerting.
you get so used to one side of a conversation and just, I don't, so, anyway.
I should probably find some way to denote that a little bit more obviously, but she's in the middle of something that seems kind of
Give her a
important.
sign. This is AFK. Out to lunch, just to hang it on the.
She's in the middle of something seems kind of important to her own safety, so
Okay.
she'll get back to us. But there is like some kind of a fairy tale, she said, that involved a snake or some Slytherin creature and an owl, and apparently becoming human or a human becoming owl. Something. She says that it kind of sounds familiar to this. She says it's just an urban legend. I told her that. Well, I mean, you heard what I told her, I suppose.
Yep.
Yeah. I've never heard anything like this before, but apparently there's some legends about it somewhere.
I can't say I have either. I mean, I have contacts back at the university that might, but they're not reachable at the moment. So,
Well, they are still there.
I assume I'm seeing people be falling down, sleeping, or in in ecstasy.
Well,
fueled.
I will say that what you're seeing is people will fall down and go to sleep. And you'll just see people just kind of like get to a point and then just stop and just not move. You're too far to see the expressions of ecstasy.
Right, but I
So-
assume it matches with what I was
It
told
seems
is
to
happening.
concur.
Okay. I will continue to watch.
I don't really know what else we can do with this.
Do you want to keep it or should we bury it?
It's probably worth keeping, but we definitely need to clean it and sanitize it.
It smells real rank.
Yeah.
In my brain, it's like, hey, you could just power wash it, but then it's just like, no, this is the Wild West. You can't power wash anything.
I mean, if I had control water or some shit, I could.
I mean,
totally do
aside
that.
from like putting this in a net, like fishing net of some sort, with some, what's the word I want? Like burlap. We could put it in the river and wash it that way and get rid of at least some of the smell, some of the previously organs,
As
I
a
think.
doctor, are you not capable of coming up with an acid that could dissolve the flesh and muscle without damaging the bone too much?
Well, the issue would be damaging the bone because, like, you could use something like a hydrogen peroxide and you could start breaking down some of the tissues, but I don't want to do any damage that would make it harder to.
Need carrion beetles.
Or a pot, you could technically boil the stuff up. It's not going to smell great, but you can technically boil the flesh off the bone.
I mean,
Do we need just the bone? Is that the?
I mean, I don't think that there's enough of anything else to glean from because of the amount of putrefaction there.
That's a fun word, putrefaction. Sorry.
Now, that being said, if we wanted to boil some water, we could theoretically dip the bones in momentarily. And at least clean off the bulk of whatever this is. But I don't know that we want to set up a fire currently. Especially since we're,
Well, it's the
silhouetted.
daytime though.
Yeah, it is. But where there's smoke, there's fire. And there's fire, there's smoke. And we don't want to set up signals that might bring up...
I mean, we have somebody you could probably talk to about having a reduced amount of smoke.
Do we?
Well, I mean, technically he's watching through the scope at the moment, but I'm sure he's got some form
I
of
assume
method.
Winterwolf is not even close enough for this conversation because I assume
Yeah,
you
yeah.
guys went back off the.
Yeah. So I'm assuming that he knows something, being in the West for so long. And, I mean,
Smokeless fire of some sort?
yeah, I would assume so. I mean,
If you want to ask him, I can start... at least, like, I can take the bones and set them out of the bulk of the mess to start with.
okay, I will
Put them in
go.
crock pot so that it just slips.
Ew.
I know a girl who I went to high school with, and I'm still friends with her on Facebook. She does that with roadkill all the time. She'll just, for her, witchcraft. So, and she'll post videos. It's like, I got the bone boiling pot out again, and I was like, oh.
I guess I can't really say anything.
Smoked a raccoon on the way home.
Smoked a raccoon on the way home. The spiritual mojo on this one. So anyway.
Yeah, so I will... While he's going to talk to Winterwolf, I will at least, like...
Begin the...
Take them out and, like, shake off the bulk of whatever is there and set them aside.
Not to be morbid, but I think it's at that point that most of them are dried.
Oh, okay. No, I was under the impression that this was, like...
Still.
Liquidy.
No. If we're going back to it looking back at the journal, it
3
seems
months.
like 3 months.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, it's still a bad smell because it was contained in a steamer trunk and all of the sluiced out at the bottom of the trunk. So,
But less of a.
Less liquid than...
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So I will do my best to, like...
slightly mummified, I think is, well, depends on the humidity, but most of it's like dried at this point. So.
Okay. That actually makes a huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking we also want to maybe, like, leave this trunk. Because it smells.
It's real nasty. I would not be opposed to leaving the trunk.
I think you can burn the trunk. Like, I think most steamer trunks can be burned, other
They can.
than just like the metal racking.
Yeah.
So that's a
That-
option.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't really want to set up a big fire, even if we can do one that's smokeless. The bigger it is, the more dangerous.
That's fair.
More likely are we are to be sighted by...
Something else.
Well, I'm particularly concerned about, sloth and lust.
I'm curious about what their purpose is, since they don't seem to be hurting anybody.
I mean, I'm sure they're feeding off of the... whatever it is that they do to humans, but...
Yeah, but like... With their power set, they could take any of those things into a lethal level.
And maybe they do. I didn't actually get to see what happened to
That's
the
fair.
folks that were still inside. Yeah, no, I pulled as many people as I could out, but without,
You must have been brave to go and do something like that.
I don't think so. I also mostly sent a Pinkerton in to do what he could. Oh, I forgot to tell you about that. I ran into my Pinkerton friend.
How'd that go? Well, I guess you're here. So.
Mm-hmm. No, I made him do most of the work as far as carrying folks.
And he was just like, all right, I'll do that.
I don't know if he recognized me. It was dark the first time we saw each other. So I suppose he might not have recognized me at all. But it also might be that because of the effects that he had just suffered, that he was not in a mental space to think that far. Because he dealt with it before I did.
Well, it's convenient for you, I suppose.
It definitely is.
Good.
And helpful to the people of the town. So... we need a new bag.
Do you go
Yeah.
talk to Werewolf? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you come. Winterwolf is just laying on the edge of the ridge. He's got the scope off of it, and he's just.
How's it going?
Well, they haven't left the saloon yet.
Oh, so they're actually in town.
Indeed, they are.
Oh. Well, if you're not busy, I mean, sorry, you are busy, but if you have time, or information-wise, do you know if you could have fire without smoke? Or can you make fire without smoke? Smokeless fire? You feel the void?
You want. Why do you want a smokeless fire?
Prof's got a good idea to boil the bones and desanitize them. Or,
And desanitize them, yep.
whatever the right terminology is. Yeah.
I mean, if you just want to boil water, how much water are you talking?
Enough to fit a 7
So while you're chatting, he hasn't looked at you. He is still just watching.
About this much. So what do you think?
You want to describe to me the size of?
Okay, so you think of a pot, and think of the pot that's got water in it. About that, as far as I know.
I'm sad I didn't come with you so I can laugh at this.
I'm gonna look up a little bit real fast. Have I been watching by myself?
Aquint is sort of just like on the ridge. Sort of
Quentin
looking
would have
as
gone with them to make sure they were okay.
Then
if
no,
they went
you
off.
got
I mean,
you're the only one there.
I'm like close by, I guess. I'm probably
Right, you didn't
wherever
stick with them.
Yeah, I didn't stick with them, so I'd be wherever the campsite was.
JT, come here.
Okay.
I'm gonna be like, see here, come. Get down.
I feel like I'm just like up there standing.
You're silhouetted. I'm gonna hand it to you. Like, be very careful with this, please. I'm gonna hand it to you. Like, okay, you want to keep an eye on the saloon. If a lady in a red dress with some interesting looking hair leaves, or a man that looks kind of slobby, and if they leave, just keep watch where they go.
Okay.
And then I will, so again, you're standing right there, I will crawl backwards from the edge and slowly stand up.
So remind me what the scope
It's
does.
perception, but you have advantage.
Okay. That would be a natural 20.
Alright. You see all and know all.
I see everything.
I see through the wall of that
as
tent.
I start walking back, I'm like, come on, Clarence.
Oh, yeah, all right. Yep.
Come up. Woo! That is potent.
Yep, sorry.
That's fine. I hear we need fire, but without the smoke.
I just didn't want to silhouette us. We're on top of a mountain, and smoke would probably give us away. But if we can, I would.
Do you have a shovel?
I have a small one, yeah. So he pulls out what he was using before to dig the
Exactly.
grave. It's like yay big. It's a foldable shovel.
It's effectively a garden
All right,
snake.
that'll work. Okay. Gather around, all you not wilderness people, I suppose. Okay, so you're going to dig. Winterwolf will take it. Be like, all right, you want to dig a hole straight down. You want it to come up to about here on your shovel.
Does it differ if the shovel's bigger or smaller?
You want it to be at the same place, no matter the size of the sub. You want it to be about 3 to 4 feet deep, and not a big one. Just
Well, that's
big
not
enough.
a very big shovel.
That's a little bit bigger than your it'll be a little smaller than the pot that you're gonna put over the top of it.
Okay.
Okay. Now
Stupid tree roots everywhere. Oh, frickin'.
we're gonna need some firewood. So that means we need kindling and tinder and the wood, and we need some rocks to put the pot on. So let's go find those.
If somebody wants to break down the chest, you could use that wood.
That might smell funky.
I'd rather not.
Everything is gonna
get
smell
close
bad.
to that though.
That's fair.
Anyway, so
Why
not a
don't we
lot.
just leave it in the woods for somebody else to find?
Nature can take it back.
Anyway, so not a lot of wood. Just and I will go out if they will come with me, and I will help them be like, all right, this is about how much we need. This is about come back to when the hole is dug. Okay, so
Wait, come back after all the work's done.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it shouldn't be a very deep.
Well-
All right. So now what you're gonna do is you're gonna go about 6 inches over here to the side, and you're gonna dig a smaller hole, and you're gonna dig it so that it's at an angle, and you want it to hit the bottom of this big hole.
Okay, so it's pulling in oxygen. that
Exactly. Stand around and watch as the professor digs the hole.
way. Can I borrow your quarterstaff thingy?
Sure.
Sort of tie one of my knives on there so that I can just
Huh.
bore down into the bottom.
All right.
And look through. All right. Yep. There you go. You got it. Okay. So we're gonna
Well
make a
done.
fire like this. Here's what you do, and he'll start building the fire. But he builds it so that all of the kindling and the tinder is on the bottom, and then the wood's on top. Okay. So how you light this is you light it through your little side passage that'll bring the oxygen. You light it there, and I'll set the rocks around and put the pot on top. So if you do this right, it burns so hot inside and it's pulling in enough oxygen that there's very little smoke. It's not no smoke, but there's very little smoke because it'll get so hot inside. It's really good for cooking fires or when you don't want a fire to be seen at a distance since it's underground. So go ahead and try and light it.
With everybody staring as he's
Yep.
got his flame tinder.
And you have to get it like down in the and like try and
Should I try instead?
no, he's learning.
Okay. Okay.
This way I only have to teach y'all once.
Fair enough. You sure?
Pretty sure.
I think you blew it out.
About to say what you're blowing on there. There wasn't a spark.
He's just trying to pretend like, oh,
Oh, I'm getting close.
Okay, I got it.
Okay, good. Now we just gotta make sure. Like now, if when you make these, you gotta make sure your side tunnel to bring in the oxygen can't be too big. Otherwise, it'll bring in too much oxygen. See, it's gotta be you only want it to be smaller so it brings in a steady supply, but it's not too much, and so it doesn't collapse on itself. And then it'll burn from the bottom and burn up, clean burn all the way through, very little.
Okay, and I am not particularly concerned about like preheating my water here, so let's just. If you want to go back.
I will. Our friends are in town. They're in the local saloon.
I can go run down, grab water, and come back.
Looks the same as what you described. There's lots of people who look like they're sleeping, lots of people who look like they are enjoying their fantasies.
Alright.
I'll head back. JT's watching them right now.
How much water do we need for this?
Well, it's gonna take at least 3 potfuls, I think. And we probably want to change out water in between each.
Between each bone?
No, between each cycle, because it's a pretty small cook pot.
So I can go with you and get some.
Yeah, let's just go
Just
get
be-
it.
be
We'll
real
just go down and
careful.
get some
Let's
water.
go grab it and come back right back. This can only go well. I don't
Oh,
foresee
absolutely.
I
anything
think-
possibly happening.
Quayenta should probably go with you.
Not a bad idea.
Sure.
And while you're gone, I will work on clearing by hand as much as I can.
Oh, and to be clear, y'all don't brain talk, do you?
Brain talk.
The thing like I can do to you, like you can't do that to your wolf.
No. I talked to Quienta using the words from my mouth.
Here all this time, I thought that y'all were like psychically linked. Egg all over my face. All right, come on.
Yeah.
If you get in trouble and need us, shoot something big up in the sky. So
I do
we'll
have
know.
a pistol. I don't know that I have anything.
I
big.
meant with your magic
That's-
powers, actually. But like, so I
Oh.
can see
Oh,
where you are,
no, that does
so
make
we
more
know
sense.
where to help you, because we'll be watching.
That is more logical, yes.
Yep.
That
And
is
if you
much more
just
like a player
so
game.
happen to see any sort of large game, I would not be saddened to have a meal.
I'll see what I see.
You're real hungry if you're gonna eat an entire like
Bear.
your bear or a deer or something.
Yeah.
So hungry he can eat a horse. It's 'cause-
I mean,
No, we're not gonna eat my horse.
no, that's no.
I'll go for JT. Everyone just walks away. He'll crawl up next. All right, so they move.
Have they moved?
Nope.
Nope. Haven't seen nothing.
All right, well, you keep watching until your eyes get tired, and then we can swap.
All right.
They're gonna go get water. I told them if they run into trouble getting water, shoot some big magic sparkly thing up in the air so we can see where they are.
Sound good. I'm just gonna keep watching.
Okay. For several hours, you begin boiling the bones.
Yeah, try not to boil them too long. I don't want them to like
Yeah.
change consistency or anything, but
Mhm.
hopefully we can at least sanitize the outside.
Several hours pass. Your friends still do not move from there. A large crowd of people have sort of passed as well and have sort of joined the fray
Yeah.
as well. There seems to be quite a large gathering around that area of
So-
just people or just standing there.
So, I am not recommending this as a course of action, but if someone was so inclined, and all those folks are hiding their gold in their tents, there's a lot of unconscious folks down there.
Right. Gold is not a concern for us at the moment.
No, but I would not suggest such a course of action.
Well,
But I was just thinking about it.
so have you guys come to join us where we're still watching?
I assume after a while, yeah, or
Okay.
we can bounce back.
So
and
when you
forth
guys,
if it's not.
I'm gonna turn to look at you guys like, get down.
Oh, I wouldn't have been standing there
Oh,
near
yeah.
the cliff edge.
No, just me.
Yeah.
Just me. I don't have no
Clarence,
sense of like.
Clarence, if you're gonna be on the edge like that, you want to get down so they can't see you. If they look up, they don't
Hey,
notice.
no, nobody's looking this way.
You know
Is
what?
anybody
Okay,
looking this
fine.
way?
Yeah, we forgot to inform
around
you.
Saloon, no, but there are several other people outside of camp looking around.
Yeah,
As a
fine,
side
do what
note-
you want.
I'll sit. I'll sit. down.
There is not a lot of people looking around
Yeah,
are around camp because they've all congregated
Yeah,
towards
I'm
the
just
middle
saying it.
and have
See,
slowly
where'd everybody
been.
go?
Well, I will come back. We have a cache that we have prepared that has about 40 pounds of gold in it. In taking down the Estrante gang, we discovered their stash of gold, and we relocated it to a location only we know about. So we have a sizable stash of gold available to us. So I think we're probably safe in that on that front. Oh, okay, so Clarence,
I'm sitting down.
I know.
I didn't.
if you're gonna come up on an edge like this, see, if you were down there.
Any edge. But I'm trying.
Okay, let me explain what the phenomenon that is happening. So if they're down there and they look up at the ridge, right, and you're standing up, then what they'll see is blue skies, the ridge, and your pretty little head above the ridge.
But they won't know it's me.
But they'll know it's a person.
They won't know it's you. That is correct.
And they'll know there's a person watching. So if you're trying to watch from a ridge and you don't want them to notice you, see, you got to check. It's not any ridge because you got to check and see if the angle they'd see you. If it's only sky behind you, you got to get down. And instead of standing or walking up to the ridge, you kind of crawl up and lay down so you look like part of the ridge.
So that way, okay. That I was gonna say, like if I walk to a ridge or and I look down and see people, then that's when I get panicked and go back.
and then crawl up, right?
If you don't,
How do I know if there's people down there? Is what I'm
If you
saying.
don't want anyone to know you're on the ridge,
Then always imagine that there's folks down there.
then crawl up until you know for sure there's nobody down there. Now, if you don't care if people see you, that's fine. But like right now, we don't know if they're looking for us, so we don't want them to see us up here and be like, maybe those are the people we want.
Okay. So, hypothetically, I need to do this to every ridge.
If you want to make sure no one can see you, yes.
Well, aren't we like hiding from people at the moment? So, like any ridge, period. Is what I'm thinking.
Yes. Yes.
Hang on, I want to teach proper skills. It is never a bad idea. There is one exception. There are two exceptions. If you want to be seen, or you don't care if they see you, it's fine. Do what you want. Second reason. So if I were to look up at a ridge, like I'm gonna try and find a ridge on one of the surrounding mountains back. All right, see, so over there, like there's the ridge, but like behind the ridge is more forest and mountain.
That's good. That's fine.
Then you could be standing.
Okay.
It's still a little less safe, but you could, because it's not as easy to tell the difference between sky and a person,
Gotcha. Okay.
because you got more going on in the background. But if you want to be safe, then yeah, any ridge you're gonna watch from, you want to crawl up to the edge instead of walking up so they don't notice you. And then I don't know if you saw earlier, but if you're gonna get up, you sort of crawl backwards till you're away from it, so when you stand up, they don't notice you up there.
How do I know how far back to like go?
If you can see them, they can see you.
Like, go back like 5 or 6 good crawls. Like 5 or 6 lengths of your body.
I mean, technically speaking, you could probably just imagine your height onto the ground.
Yeah.
Because that will give you your ankle.
That way, if you
Alright.
stood up, they wouldn't notice that your head sticking up too much over the regular. They'd be like, it's just a little rock or something. They won't be like, well, that's a full-grown person that just grew. Does that make sense to you?
So if I was just like, oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Does that make sense to you?
I understand. Okay, yeah.
And it's any time that when they're looking at you, the only thing behind you would be the sky.
Gotcha.
And it's only if you want to make
So
sure.
okay,
your
so if
head-
I go to no, never mind. No, we can move.
No,
we can move on.
we're just watching. Ask your question.
No. Oh. So no, never. No, it's
No,
fine.
ask your question.
It's fine. No.
Ask your question.
So I have to like get up to a ridge and look this direction to see if there's nothing behind me. Yeah. And then I can. Well, at that point, I'm already crawled up to the ridge. So why can't it be every ridge? Because like.
It can be. It doesn't have to be.
Okay, all right.
When you get more experience, you'll start to learn when it does and doesn't matter. So for you, probably do that anytime. And
It's-
again, only if what you're worried about is being hidden.
This is just complicated.
Not so complicated.
I feel like at some point we will have to demonstrate it to you. And you don't have to follow this advice if you don't want to.
Should I go down and see if I can see one of you guys?
No. You should stay up here so that we don't have to worry about something happening to you on your way down. Because then we can't help. When we are no longer having 2 angels hanging out a mile from us, then sure, we can go practice.
Okay.
It's one of those things is like building a fire without smoke, that if you learn it, then you don't need me to keep telling you how to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
The day is getting late.
Okay, so I hate to ask this, but how long, providing that nothing changes, how long are we willing to wait here? Because we've still got, what, like a week and a quarter or
Week
something
and
like
a couple
that?
days, yeah. I say we stay right here until something happens that forces us to leave. Or once our friends down there move on, I want a full night observing the town without, while they're there, it kind of defeats the purpose because everyone's, but a full night to see any more fires happen. If they don't happen, I feel pretty confident going back to the marshal and telling him we got him. If another fire happens, then we're going to have to go check and see if maybe there are more people like this or there were other people starting fires and we didn't catch them all. Because I want the marshal to know that we're not trying to swindle him out of his money. Because he's paying us $500 for every gang we take down.
I mean, do we, provided that these folks move on and there are no more fires, do we want to try to go after one of the other gangs?
Well, that depends how long we want to be hauling around those 2 bodies. Because there are 2 other gangs in the area. Now, one of them seems kind of hot. One of them's a pretty good trek up northwest from here. I asked around town. They send one boy. It's the Dalton gang. So it's Joshua Dalton and his 5 kids, and apparently they're all huge. And they occasionally send one brother into town to get supplies, but it's a different brother every time. And they don't always get supplies from the same place every time. So they might be a little... We'll have to trek out in the wilderness to find them. Now the other option is the Billy Bob Joe franchise, who have been robbing people in Hollow Canyon. But the rumors that everyone says in town is that Hollow Canyon is haunted at night. So everyone's trying to go through in the daytime, and that's when they get robbed. But the guy I talked to who had been robbed fell into a giant pit. And then the fellers came around and said, throw up all your gold and your weapons, and they did, and then they left them. So, not sure which I'd rather have to deal with. Pits, traps, and them, or whatever might be haunting the thing at night, if it's even something real. It might
it's not just the same folks.
Exactly. They're pretty close, though. But that would mean hauling the 2 bodies with us.
Or cashing them.
Or cashing them. Although, I'm a little worried what might happen if we do that.
Now, you said, Player Steven, you said 2 bodies. You just have the 1, right?
Yeah, but we have all the bones.
And the bones.
I'm counting it as 2
Okay,
bones.
yeah, okay. Just making sure.
Yeah.
I mean, the bones I don't think will be too hard to carry. That can just get strapped to in a bag. The other one, not so much. But we could, in theory, just cache those for a while. But that is all provided that this works out in some sort of a favorable or at least not negative way.
Yeah, now if we wait a whole nother day and they're still not gone, maybe we just leave anyway. Because I don't know why they're here, I don't know what they're doing, but I'm pretty confident we can't stop them.
Not unless we've figured out this gun.
And I feel like, so far, they have not seemed particularly lethal to anyone, and I don't want to encourage them to change that pattern of behavior. Because, everybody's been entranced by them, but it doesn't seem like any of them are actually dying.
At least not that we can tell.
Now, if they're going to stay here for days on end, they might die from dehydration or whatever.
I worry about that.
But
But again, what are we going to do about it?
now, it is a little strange because from what y'all said when you ran into them, it sounds like their aura of effect is not, it's an optional thing. They could choose not to affect people.
Yeah, they didn't really seem to do nothing to me. And
I mean, you guys saw them at a distance, though, because you talked to them through their minds. You talked to her specifically with your
I kind of forgot.
Kalashtar thing, and then you guys were hiding out in the tree line, so you guys were a ways away.
That's true. So I actually don't know if it's all the time or not.
Fair enough. Anyway, so that's my take, is if... I'm wondering if they're just I have more questions, like I am wondering why those 2 are traveling together. That seems like an odd pairing. I would not normally associate those 2 together. So I don't know why they are traveling in a pair.
Do you want me to get close enough I can ask?
No. Because if they're not here for us, I don't want to give them any reason to think that they should be looking for us.
I mean, that's fair, I reckon.
Because we are not equipped to handle them. And if we run into them, there's a good chance we run into the other 3. that we ran into back at the ruin, and I really don't want to run into them.
Not again, no. Especially not if they're ready for us.
Yeah, we only got away because we got lucky. Oh.
And because JT blew things up.
While we were in town, we found out, I don't remember if we just said that he told us about it. I'm going to say we don't for this. We found out that there was a message, a telegram came for us.
Oh, no, yeah, I passed that along.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know what that was?
Specifically, no.
'Cause
But
I'm not sure what he's talking about.
Well,
I'm assuming he's talking about the change of management of the town, which we knew some of. But if...
But then why would Duke tell us a thing we already know?
Oh, well, because he left, and he's telling us that he's not there anymore.
How did you get that out of that message?
we went to
Sierra?
go visit cousin Sierra. Cousin?
Hey, he says cousin, yeah, but it's not a cousin. It's a place.
How do you figure that?
Because that's where he would go, and it's not too far from town. And to the best of my knowledge, he doesn't have any family. When we talked about his medical history, he did not bring up any family at all.
Interesting.
So, I suspect that they have just moved out of town. And with Uncle Morgan being our friend the sheriff, they got out of Dodge.
That does make sense.
So then are we not supposed to go back to town?
I gather that town is probably not safe, but I don't know that for sure. Or they got wind of something else that would be helpful to the whole construction of the gun.
And they went after it.
Yeah, one of those two.
Could be both.
I mean, or he could have gotten bored. I don't know Duke that well, but
That is fair. Well,
that's more Nate than it is
That's true.
Duke, but
Although sometimes his characters, that's kind of splitting hairs.
yep.
either way, we wait.
Well, I'm gonna go fill in that hole that we made, because, and I'm gonna put the rest of the remains in that hole and then just bury it.
Sure.
And then I suggest we dig another hole somewhere else and get dinner going, preferably
Alright.
before nightfall.
Sounds good.
I'm going to run to the bathroom.
I will dig a hole.
Diggy diggy hole.
About close to the end of the day, when the sun is beginning its final descent along the horizon, whoever's looking through the scope,
I mean, I imagine at this point I've walked past it back
Sure.
over to you.
you see that sort of the pileup. It seems as though something has occurred and people are now leaving the pileup.
Well, people are walking away,
So far, so good, I reckon.
so that implies they are probably not dead.
I guess in the case of sloth and lust, they probably benefit more by not.
I mean, depends what their aim is and if this is
Yeah.
a thing that they have control over or not.
If their influence is almost like a kind of food to them, keeping your people alive and just rotating your food source makes a lot more sense than bleeding them
True.
dry.
Doesn't explain why they keep moving, but
That is interesting. I mean, in small form, sure, but yeah, like
Yeah.
over large territories, that's a bit. It's a bit of an out of the way sort of a situation for sloth, especially.
any sign of them leaving the saloon?
Yes, they leave the saloon, wander around for a little bit to just a tent, and then enter in.
And while they're wandering around, people aren't still being like entranced or anything, right? Yeah.
Nope.
Okay, so it is some sort of like,
They turn it on and off.
or it's like once they're satisfied or say their appetite is sated or something, it no longer is as powerful. Well, looks like we're taking shifts, keeping watch on the camp and keeping watch on them.
I reckon.
we'll rotate through through the night. Like it's.
For the sake of brevity, you do as
Yep.
such. No movement from the tent or whatnot until the next morning. Next morning, you wait. They eventually do exit the tent and head back to the saloon. And it seems like the process starts over again.
Yeah, see, this is interesting because it didn't sound like they did this for multiple days in Timber Pine, but they are here.
Do you think it's because they want to like talk to us about something?
Maybe. Although, if they know where we are, I would assume that they'd be able to figure out we're up here and not down there.
Well, maybe it is they don't know.
Right, it could just be coincidence. I don't know why they'd be looking for us unless it was to stop us. But then I don't know why they wouldn't have grabbed Prof. I'm guessing they're not here for us specifically.
Yeah.
Although it looked like they were not affecting people last night and there were no more fires, so...
Right.
So if we decide to leave, y'all want to go for the Billy Bob Joe franchise or the Dalton gang?
I mean, the Billy Bob Joe franchise just sounds like a delightful bunch of hooligans.
I mean, it also sounded like it was like 3 big mountain men. Potentially.
Well, from what he was saying, they were the most powerful, strongest of the groups.
Or was that the Daltons?
That was the Dalton.
Yeah,
Oh,
the,
yeah.
Dalton, the Daltons are all...
Okay.
It's him and his 5 kids, and each kid is like a monster unto themselves.
Right, right.
And the Estrante gang was the biggest.
We've already taken care of that.
So
Well,
I guess
as
our
much as
only
one can.
option's the Billy Bob Joe franchise.
I mean,
Oh,
the
we could
advantage
do
there
that.
is they are closer, but we don't. We potentially would have to walk into a trap to catch them.
Yeah.
The Dalton gang, it sounds like we might be able to hunt them down, but they're further away.
Right.
But they do sound more dangerous. If I remember right, when we were talking with them, the Dalton gang tried not to kill people, right?
Semi-opposite.
Oh, they went out of their way to...
Either out of their way or were not opposed to just randomly killing people.
Okay, and
Yeah,
so
I think
it was
the
the
Billy
Billy Bob
Bob
Joe franchise that like
Yeah.
Tried
didn't...
not
yeah.
to.
Tried not to, but you know.
Yeah, we could go after the Dalton gang. They are more violent.
You know, after Blazing Saddles over there last night, I feel like perhaps going with the non-violent route's not a terrible way. Like, I could deal with the pit trap, but
Well, and they may still be violent. They might just prefer to not have to fight if they can avoid it.
I mean, I generally prefer not to fight too if I can avoid it. So, I mean, they're my cup of tea, I suppose. We're going to have to get to the other ones at some point anyway. But after watching him go Dragon Fricassee, I feel like he could probably use a little bit more of a time.
The other question is, do we want to try and track them in the night or fall into their trap in the day?
Well, I think either one really, because especially if we go at night, we can help solve this. Hopefully help with this haunting situation that's going on. Maybe we'll run into the ghost and help to do a banishing on it or something like that.
Do you know how to banish ghosts?
No.
I mean, if you do, that's a great plan, but I do not know how to banish a ghost.
I mean, we don't
So maybe
know.
we.
The
wait.
ghost might just be like part of a shtick that's
Right, it could be
happening,
part of
too.
their plan to try and make sure it's always in the day when they deal with people, but also it could be something more. It is an unknown risk, and if you want to, that's fine.
Well, what about your head friend?
Oh, my head friend. Yeah, Miss Mary.
Does she know how to banish ghosts?
I mean, I'll check in with her. I was supposed to anyway, so I'll check in with her and see if she knows anything about that.
Well, welcome back from taking a tinkle, Prof. Guess who didn't leave? They went back to the saloon this morning.
But they at least gave everybody a break.
I don't know if that's better or worse.
So we were discussing why we think sounds like they didn't do that in Timber Pine.
Not that I am aware of, although I didn't. They left, I think, the day after they showed up, so...
Right, so we're trying to figure why we think they're still here. But the people were not enthralled last night, and there was not a fire. So we could say that we got them. And then we were discussing if we go after the Billy Bob Joe franchise, who are the less violent of the two, if we want to do it in the day or the night.
If you guys want to continue, the world has to go. You a tinkle.
The world has to think.
I'm gonna hold off on talking to Miss Mary for just a second.
sorry.
Then.
Gotta get yourself all prepped and prepared.
I gotta think it
Unless,
through.
I don't know if you know how to banish a ghost.
I mean, I guess you would be the one of us to ask, huh?
I mean, I've read books. I don't know that there's a lot of scientific knowledge to draw upon. I could list off any number of fairy tales, folklore, but who can say what's true and what isn't?
So it sounds like banishing ghosts is not something that we possess as
Not
a
in our
skill.
wheelhouse.
I mean, I can maybe access them through tarot cards, but I've never really tried, so I have no idea how that would work out for me.
Teach me to banish a ghost. Death.
Now, if we're going to go after the Billy Bob Joe gang, and we're not going to do it at night, I feel like we should probably have some of us who trigger their trap to lure them out. And I think there are a couple people here who seem like the most believable fellas to have fallen into such a trap.
Is that also us? Oh, you're looking at him.
Oh, I'll tell you.
Okay.
I'm a good actor.
Now, maybe, I'm not sure. I know my best position would probably be at a perch so I can provide
That is true.
my rifle to support from a distance.
But that would also mean we know right where the trap's at.
Well, so what we do, because it's a canyon, right? So if I might, depending on how high the canyon wall is, I might go along the top. And then when we go into the canyon,
But
we
then
go
they'll
in.
see your
the same-
silhouette.
Stand up.
Well, yeah, but I'll make sure that I'm not silhouetted, and then we'll go along together. So if you trigger the trap, the rest of us have followed along, but we're hidden. So they think they've caught themselves two more, gold rushers, and they move in for it. And thus, we turn their trap into our trap.
And the nice thing is we'll be in a hole, and so if there's explosions, it will be outside the
We'll
hole.
be protected. That's good.
Kind
And for you, it would make sure that you are as close to them as we can get you for both your shotgun and your other skills.
I still
and
do not have
You
proficiency
would
with the
help
shotgun.
sell the fact that you are two gold rushers that have been caught in their trap.
It's too bad we don't have your $10 boots.
I still have them.
Yeah, they don't look like $10 boots anymore.
No.
Now, one of you could probably be with them, and it would probably be believable. I'm a little afraid if we do too many people,
They just won't.
it might seem like they might find it harder to believe.
I mean, I'm good with whatever.
But if you don't go with them, it relies on either us being far enough away they wouldn't notice us, or being sneaky enough that they don't notice us if we're closer. And while I can help with that, I can't cover all the bases
I
there.
don't remember how far away I can be with
Shoot,
you.
we should probably take that stupid trunk.
Why?
Didn't we burn it?
No.
Why?
How are we carrying the gold?
Oh, most people, when they carry the gold, they hide it. So they don't make it obvious where it is.
Oh, because obviously if I'm I'm just flaunting it around like that, it's part of the acting process.
I see.
If I'm flaunting it around, people know there's an issue.
That was actually part of the other interesting mystery we did not solve, is somehow the father there knew where they had hidden their gold in each tent. Because it was not
Maybe he
in
can
the open.
smell it. Like a.
I'm wondering
like a
if
tracking
he
dog.
had, or maybe I know his whole owl always watching thing.
We ever find his gold?
I don't
Father's
think he
gold?
had
I don't
any.
think he had any. I think he was dumping it in the river
Putting it back to the
or
mountain.
getting rid of it somewhere. Or it didn't seem like. But then again, he was also crazy. So
Hello, world.
And the world
now,
resumes.
unless you or any of the rest of you feel like we should stick around a little bit more to try and see what those two down there are up to.
Until they leave, I don't know that I
I'd
don't know
rather
it's
not.
worth getting close enough.
Oh no, I don't think we should get close enough. I just don't know if we want to keep watch from up here until we see them leave. Because I'm a little. There's also always the possibility that we might leave and then they'll leave later today or tomorrow and we might run into them.
I think that's going to be an issue no matter what, though.
Maybe, but at least right now we know where they are. And if we watch them leave, we'll know what direction they're going. But that is a. Either way you cut it, it's not a.
How far is the canyon from here, time-wise, if we were to...
Well, if I look at the map that I have, I believe it's.
A 3-hour
Door.
3-hour way.
Right?
A 3-hour tour. Oh no.
It's about a 3-hour horseback ride from here to the start of the canyon.
Yeah, it's not worth leaving somebody behind to watch then.
No. And again, we don't have to stay and watch them. I am perturbed as to what their goals are, but I also don't see any reason to go rock that boat.
Well, if we can't do anything about it anyway, I suppose we could just like swing wide on the way back and see if they're still here.
Yeah. Again, the
Come
advantage is as long as we know where they are or what direction they headed, we can try to avoid them. If we leave,
We
could run right into them on our way back.
At some point, that's gonna happen, probably just given the types of things that we're trying to figure out. And while preparation would be nice, I guess of all the ones you could run into without adequate preparation, they seem a bit easier, at least, to survive
I would
than
agree.
Wrath. So I don't, like, I am worried, but I don't know that waiting until they leave is gonna worry me much less.
fair.
So,
So, to Hollow Canyon in the Billy Bob Joe franchise,
Goodness, yes.
I would propose that the first thing we do is we go try and scout out the canyon from on top a little bit during the day here and get a lay of the land.
I agree.
And then tomorrow spring a trap unless we want to try and track them back to their nest in the evening, which we might be able to do. I doubt there are many people camping in the 5 miles around the canyon. So I potentially could locate their camp and we could just try and... But if there is something that haunts the canyon at night, we might have to interact with it.
All right.
Well, let's head out there
Yeah,
and see what
we
we
can
can
Wait,
see.
talk
do we,
about it
do
on
we
the way.
want a smaller group to go?
No, I think we should all go together.
oh yeah, we're just gonna have like
It's only 3 hours away. It's not worth leaving somebody
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Okay.
just 2 or 3 people are gonna be the face that gets like caught.
Yeah. If we send when we're ready, if we're gonna spring their trap and turn it into ours, we'll probably send you two to be the ones who spring the trap. Maybe with JT or Miss Bellamy, and then the other two of us will lay in wait. And we will turn their trap into ours.
Yeah. Okay.
But first, I want to get a lay of the canyon because once we see the canyon, it might be a little less,
Yeah.
or we might realize looking at the canyon that it's pretty obvious where their camp is or something.
Okay.
It sounded like most of the miners try and get through the canyon as fast as possible to avoid getting caught.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll head that direction, kind of work out some of the details as we go.
Yeah.
So heading that way.
Start heading that way.
I died of dysentery.
Oh no.
So JT, do you prefer to be a little bit farther off? You're still healing up too.
I'm almost better. Just have some stiffness and bruises.
Yeah, I think
Couple
some of
scrapes.
those scales fused. Actually, that's a little odd.
Huh. Wow. So, a lot of my stuff I can do at a distance. I don't know if having a lady on board will make them less likely to be aggressive and asshole.
I don't think it'll matter. I just think 4 of you falling into the trap.
Oh yeah,
probably
it's not gonna
too
be,
many.
Yeah.
But if we wanted to have a third with you, just to, or if it'd be too hard to hide or something, we could probably do 3. I wouldn't try and do more.
As a side note, Miss Bellamy, the new number of the day is a natural 20.
Wow.
If ever there was a thing he would lie to you about, if ever there was a thing he would incentivize you to use.
That is painfully true. It's probably a nat one. Will I take that risk at some point? Probably.
You guys begin heading towards the canyon.
Okay.
Hollow Canyon, I believe was what it's called.
It was called Hollow Canyon.
Did you want to ask your question?
Yes.
Yep.
All right, Miss Mary.
Oh.
How you doing there?
The other Miss Mary.
Sorry. Yes, I'm back. Hello. How are you doing?
Well, we're all right. We're about to go take care of some banditing folks. Handle some of that. So, what question was I supposed to be asking?
About the
Fairy tale book.
fairy tales and
Well, the
maybe
fairy tales,
ghosts.
yeah. Oh,
Mhm.
ghosts.
Yeah, that's
that's the one.
Your that one's
Yeah.
more important. This definitely isn't.
So, did you find anything out for us on the fairy tale?
I did. A friend of mine, Carol, she was able to help me with that.
What's Carol's last name, out of curiosity?
That is her last name.
Oh, Lewis?
Louisa, but yeah, Lewis.
Excellent.
Why?
Then no worries. Just
Okay.
so what did she have to say?
It is a book called Baum de Welt by Hans Hofstetter.
Of course, it's
Bomb
by a
developed?
Hofstetter.
Baum de Welt. She loosely translated it to Tree of World.
Hofstetter.
The my oil and coal. Oil and coal?
Well, that's one of the sub classes of it. There's mining and coal, oil and coal, modernized electric.
So the owl people are tied to the world tree.
People. I just owls.
Oh, no,
World tree?
the bomb to
Baum de Welt.
world.
Baum der Welt, it translates to Tree of World. Or Tree of the World.
Yeah, yep. And it's supposed to have gigantic owl people.
Well, not owl people. There's an owl in it, but...
Oh, I thought that you had said that there was some familiarity in the owl people side of things.
Kinda. Well, not owl people per se, but it's a weird story.
Has to do with that though.
Yes.
All right. So
All right.
All right.
so what was this fairy tale?
Well, as the fairy tale goes, there is a tree in which several animals live in the tree. Living in the branches is Sevrax, the owl who lives in the branches and always is watching over all of the watching basically everything. Of course, only during the night. It has to sleep during the day in a small hollow in the tree. At the base of the this is loosely translated and not the whole story, but at the base of the tree is sort of like a pond, and living in the pond is sort of the translation's weird because it's like
It's a water snake.
kind of like a water snake called a Suffocatus. There's other denizens, the spider, the rat that lives in the roots, and the moth. But other than that, there's not a lot of.
Hold up. All right, so we got Suffocatus, the eel water snake thing.
Sure.
Who's our? We got a mouse in the roots.
A rat that lives in the roots.
You know that one's name?
Give me a second. Since you
Sorry.
See here, flipping through pages. Chiles.
Chiles.
Chiles. Chiles.
A moth.
Yes, a moth.
A Mothman.
Well, what's that moth's name?
Huh.
Huh?
It shares the same name as a friend of mine, Linares.
Uh-huh. And what other kind of animal?
A spider
Spider.
called Arachna.
That's straightforward. All right. Now carry on with the story. Sorry, had to jot those
Well,
things
it's
down.
just more or less that Suffocatus is always trying to eat the owl, but the owl and all the other denizens, but the owl's always watching. Arachna uses her webs to record all of the stories that happen at the tree. Chiles is tricky and just lives in the roots, and Lunaris is just a moth that just lives in the just in the area. No one knows where he came from. He's just sort of there, and it's just stories about Sevrax just living in the tree, watching over everything.
So, in this group of stories, say Sevrax died and got stuffed in a trunk.
Oh, that's not in the book as far as I know. It's in German, so the translation might be off, but...
Well,
Probably not by that much.
Do they have like a happy ecosystem other than Suffocatus or whatever? Suffocatus.
I mean...
Do they do pretty well together? Mostly?
I don't... I guess so. Like, they all just sort of live in a weird ecosystem.
Okay. Well, I at least kind of have a direction for where some things are coming from, maybe. I can ask you more about that later. Hey, incidentally, one of my other traveling friends here is curious as to whether you know how to... Hey, hon, it was.
Yeah.
You need to know how to banish ghosts? Is
Well,
that
yeah,
it?
hypothetical
ghosts.
Do you know how to banish ghosts? Is that a thing for you? To desanitize the ghosts?
Desanitize.
I mean, well, yes, it depends on what the ghost is and
Ooh.
what the other
She knows.
stuff about it is. What kind of ghost is it?
Oh, right now I don't know that we have much of an inkling, but if
well, it's kind of hard to help if I don't know
that-
what kind
I
it
didn't
is.
realize that there were different kinds.
Well,
What?
sure,
different
there's
kinds of ghosts.
banshees,
Oh, dear.
there's mares, mimics.
Is it a spook? Tell her it's a spooky ghost.
Banshees, mares, mimics,
Poltergeists.
Poltergeist.
poltergeists.
Yeah.
Okay.
Aren't those all just other words for ghost?
I think there might be specific kinds. So he says spooky ghosts.
I mean, all ghosts are kind of spooky depending on.
Yeah.
We didn't get much information, so I'm
We-
not sure.
When we have more information, I might ask, is there something generally broad spectrum that seems to do well for most of them?
Yeah, an EMF.
Salt. Lots and lots of salt.
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, religious symbolism.
what tends to offend them all?
Tell them they can't come
Cross.
inside.
You will stay out and you will love it. Drink the rain, fools.
Well,
Um,
each ghost is sort of different in the essence.
I think we need more information. I will get back to you with that.
All right. Thanks once again for the help the other last week. So
You know, it freaks me out every time it happens, but I'm glad to be of assistance.
Yeah.
Also, might I say, We look damn good. Good job.
You're welcome.
I mean, if somebody else got to wear my head, I'm glad they wear well, I suppose.
All right.
All right, I will check in with you later when we have a little more intel.
All right. Good luck.
Thank you. All right, so we need more information on the ghostie so she can tell you how to banish it. Apparently, there are
But
lots
you
of different
can
types.
banish it.
They are banishable, and apparently she knows quite a bit about it because she just started rambling off all these names of different types of ghosts. I just figured a ghost is a ghost, but apparently there are different ways to handle them based upon the type of ghost that you receive.
Should be a handbook. I could write a handbook.
Handbook of the Dead?
How does
That
one
would be fitting
determine
for you
what-
to write a handbook of the dead. In so many ways, that would fit you.
No, if you.
How does when one dies? Sorry.
No,
How does it determine what kind of ghost it becomes?
That's a great question.
that might go in the handbook.
Oh.
We'll have to get more information when it's available.
At the end of this, I'll be a book writer.
Non-lethal damage to the ghost so we can interrogate him?
Right. How did you become
I just want to interview you
Spectre.
for my book.
Could we pause you to take this brief survey?
Do you like being dead, or
How would you rate your dead experience?
This phone call is being
It's
recorded
being
for
monitored
customer
for-
service.
You guys travel for about 3 hours, and then you eventually get to like the opening of the canyon. You can see it's sort of tall, sort of like rocky-ish cliffs that go about like 30 feet up that seem to go the length of the winding canyon.
We want me with these two, or
Well, I don't think we're gonna
Yeah, let's
spring the
spring it,
trap
yeah.
yet. I'd like to go around and get
Kinda
up on the
check it
top
out
and
first.
see if I see anything that's a clear giveaway. However, at this point, we should probably move stealthily and quietly.
I agree.
So I will cast Pass Without Trace.
Sweet action.
And as we're writing up, I can so
what time of day is it?
something
Like
and he's focused
in
on
the
you.
11ish.
So something
in
they
the
teach
afternoon.
when you're talking about trying to be
Midday.
quiet
Yep,
is you
midday.
step on the outside of your foot and you slowly drive. So you step on the heel of your foot and then you put the outside down.
Sorry.
and
Sorry, I said edge of the foot. No, that's the edge of the foot.
yeah. Heel
My
to the
ankles.
side to the full foot. That'll help you keep quiet. So I'm gonna do a minute or two or 10 minutes.
A minute.
A minute. I'll give you guys a minute of, but mostly directed at Clarence on how to be stealthy. So you will either have proficiency or expertise.
So just add double your proficiency. So
Everybody or just Clarence?
Everybody.
Oh, sweet. So we are all really, really
Yeah, you
sneaky.
get unless you already have expertise, you get to add your proficiency a second time.
Wow, I don't have that.
Okay then, because that gives another +3. So
Oh, wow. It's 31.
I get
27.
+20 by stealth.
Holy crap.
I suck on all of my things except for charisma, and that I'm like proficient in.
so 27,
31.
31.
Oh, are we rolling for stuff? My bad. Hold on. Perfect. That is 20.
20,
22.
22.
Oh wait, did you cast Pass Without a Trace?
Yes.
Yeah, so
Okay,
that's
yeah, 20.
Oh,
So that is 27 for Quayenta
Okay.
and 35 for Winterwolf.
All right.
So is this only advantage in the dark, or is it always advantage?
Only in the dark. While in darkness.
Okay, because I could read that either way. So,
Right.
so, it's like, so
Yeah,
I'm
so-
not even gonna bother. It's still in my pack. I haven't pulled it
Yeah.
back out yet.
All right.
Yeah, don't give
you
yourself
guys
away yet.
begin. So how are you traveling?
I want to go travel and try and get to the up above the canyon so I can
Okay.
see down into it.
So we
and
might have to
scout
leave the
it out.
horses down
yes.
below. Yeah.
Okay.
Want
It's
me to
going to
stay
be a
down with
hard
the horses?
climb.
That's
Okay.
for me anyway.
That's a good question.
Who doesn't think they can make the climb?
Oh, I might
Maybe
Oh.
struggle.
Why climb?
It's all strong like.
Can you be
When he
stealthy
can
and fly?
Not like there's a lot of sticks to step on in the sky.
There's not a lot of ways to hide in the sky either.
I mean, as long as you stay close to the ground.
I mean, as long
Because
as
you can fly that far from the ground.
As long as it's like dex checks, will be good. But
It's
any strength checks,
Probably athletics.
Yeah, but I'm
athletics to climb.
No,
if,
sure.
if you do not want to climb, you can just stay hidden
Yeah,
at the
why don't we
base
just
and
stay
keep
down
I'm
watch.
here?
gonna stay with the
horses.
horses.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna. It's only 30 feet up. I'm just gonna pop out my wings.
How long does the wings last?
1 minute.
Okay.
And it gives me a
You just
fly
use your-
speed it gives me a
Okay.
fly speed equal to my walking speed.
You were able to get to the top.
Yeah. So it's like,
I will, myself and Quayenta will climb up.
Okay.
and I'm gonna get to the top and then down.
Are you going up?
Yeah. Well, actually,
It's athletics
no.
checks.
I don't think I will. I think I'll probably stay by the horses too.
Okay.
Like if I could acrobatics it might be a little different, but actually no, I'm not proficient in that either. Never mind. I'll stay my butt on the
Dan's
ground.
just so used to her characters being proficient in
Right.
acrobatics.
I do at least have proficiency in acrobatics if it had come to that, but why climb when you can fly?
Exactly.
If only, if only.
That is 18 for me, 15 for Quayenta to climb up.
Quita struggles a little bit, but she's able to get up too. Yeah. And you guys start going through?
Yes, I just want to go like slowly along the edge, just trying to keep a lookout for any.
Then I guess everyone make
land.
perceptions or investigations as you guys are going through the canyon.
I'm not there.
No, you guys are waiting
No,
for
we're
the
not.
I
horses.
keep just assuming.
Everybody.
My brain is like, no, no.
18 perception.
Okay. 18 perception.
That is a
That
a 22 for me
Okay.
and a 23 for Quayenta.
Okay. So the three in the canyon, as you guys start walking, you do see about maybe 10 minutes into the walk, you see it's a very narrow canyon, maybe like 40 feet across from one end to the other. You see in front of you, you do see a very a pit trap in front of you that's just like covered in like a very obvious pile of leaves.
Are you on the same wavelength I am, Keith?
I don't know, maybe.
Okay, well, that is good to notice. Okay, but how long is the canyon?
Maybe 5 miles, 6 miles.
Hmm.
Well, hold on. Maybe like 10 miles. Sorry.
Well, that's one pit trap right at the front.
Mhm.
I feel like if we're gonna trigger it, might as well do it here. Give me a minute.
So that's what you and the canyon see.
Oh,
Two-
I don't
The
think
the two
Oh,
of you.
we're not
I
going-
would-
they
We're
didn't
not
go in
go-
the canyon.
Oh,
we're not going
No,
to the
they're
canyon.
waiting
I thought they were
outside
going
the
in-
canyon
okay.
while we scouted.
Okay,
the top.
We're
so
staying
sorry,
outside.
my
No,
apologies.
it's all
I
good.
thought you guys were going through the canyon while they were up the top.
No,
Oh, we will be
Okay,
there.
so
will be
you
there
do
eventually.
see
Right,
you do see
we-
that
we-
terrible pit. However, it's hiding the more better pit on the other side.
That's what I was thinking.
Clever.
Mhm.
Give me a minute. And
The one seems very obvious, and so I was like, "What a terror
Right,
would go and
I-
hit the much." The only reason you guys are able to see is because you have an aerial view.
I would like to use primeval awareness
Okay.
to sense any humanoids within 5 miles.
Within 5 miles, halfway down the canyon, you sense 3 individuals.
So they're halfway down the canyon from us. Now, when you say halfway down, you mean like
Yes,
laterally or down?
laterally.
Okay. So we could trigger this trap and all lay in ambush and wait for them.
Mm.
You want to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go back and let them know. And then anyone who's going to hide in the canyon will like throw some rocks or something to trigger it. If you want to go back and let them know, I will perch up here.
Okay. So I'll head back. I can only fly one more time before our rest.
Do you think you can make the climb?
I can try. I mean, down's not so hard. Getting back.
What, for lack of a better term, JT, what's your athletics bonus?
That's +2.
Okay, how about I will go back and inform them of the plan, and then meet you back right here so we can be up above. Okay. I will go and scramble back down to let them know what the plan is.
Okay.
So I guess I am going with you guys, seeing as I am not the best climber.
Well, yes, I'll come up and be like, okay, so I've pinpointed their location. There are 3 people halfway down the canyon. Now we found a pit trap just a little ways in, so we're thinking we trigger the pit trap because I assume that they're either patrolling looking for people or they have some way of telling when one of the traps goes off, and we lay an ambush around the pit trap and wait for them to come.
Makes sense.
So JT and I are going to be up there. If any of you want to get up there, we can try and help you get up. Or if you want to hide down in the canyon, it's a little narrow. The canyon's only about 40 feet across.
And is the bottom of the canyon pretty bare?
No, there's like sagebrush and all that sort of stuff.
Okay. We could probably set up an easy enough disguise near one of the pits.
Okay, so what you're going to see when you go down, there's a pit that's very obvious. You will be able to tell, like, oh, that's the pit trap. There's actually a much better hidden one behind that one, right after it's to trick you.
So we want to hit the obvious one.
No, the
You
other
wanna
one.
hit
The obvious one's it's to trick you into being
Yeah.
like, clearly that's the trap, and then you go around it and fall
And
right
then
into
you
the
go
real
in.
trap that they've set. That's actually hidden.
Gotcha.
That tracks. That's not a bad way to go. Lure them into a false sense of security and then drop them.
How far away do you need to be to do your little mind thing?
My mind link. Oh,
We need Lucas and his telepathic network.
Mm-hmm.
let me look at
Hold on,
that.
let me patch you through.
Hold on, let me patch you through.
Operator.
I need racers.
Now, other question while she's thinking about that real deep.
I'm guessing yours is.
What do we do with the horses?
I think they stay out here.
Yeah, I'd leave him.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll just leave them tied. And we can.
It's not too terribly far in where the trap is that we found.
Now, have we seen any signs of things like wolves or anything around that might be potentially harmful to the? Yeah. Yeah. Then I think we should leave them tied here.
Okay.
I assume we
to
found a
do
little
this?
out of the way, like secluded copse of trees or something to tie them in before we go into the canyon. So, what's the range on that?
Sorry.
It's fine.
I had to find it because it's not in the wiki that I use. Mind link. There we go. Number of feet equal to 10 times your level. So
level 5, so 50.
50 feet.
Okay, so
50
as long as you stay on this side of the canyon, you can reach us up above and anybody inside. So if we need to, you can sort of relay.
that's not a bad idea.
All right, we ready to do this?
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
You know, ready's a strong word, but sure.
Braden, do I need to roll to climb back up?
Yes.
Okay.
You forgot where your handholds were last time.
18.
Yeah, you're good. You get back up.
Okay, so we're gonna go in real quiet like, and we're gonna disguise ourselves in sagebrushes. So I will have you just lay down,
Okay.
right there,
All right.
and I will disguise you.
Do we need to re-roll any stealths?
No, I'll keep it as it is.
Okay, and then I will do the same for me right next to you.
I'm
And then I
gonna
don't know
pretend
what
to
you
be
wanna
a
do.
sagebrush.
What's that?
I'm gonna pretend to be sagebrush.
Yep.
I mean, I guess I could do something vaguely similar to that. Yeah, sure. I'll just.
So I can be really tall sagebrush.
You're gonna be laying down, my friend.
You've got one little thing of sagebrush, and you're holding it in front of your face. I'm sagebrush.
If you hold real still, I'm sure they won't notice.
I have a +10 to intimidation. I am a sagebrush.
You did not see me. I did not see you.
Okay.
I will keep using primeval awareness to see when they're getting close.
I guess we push a boulder or something
Yep.
into the.
Oh, we're not going in the hole. Oh.
No,
I
not this
mean,
time.
you can.
Do you want to be in the hole?
Oh no! It's fine. It's.
I mean, the hole would be preferable to getting hit by whatever JT is about to shoot down at us. However,
It's fine. In my head, I really want them to come look at the hole and not see us, and then you guys are able to run up and push
Push them into
the
the
three
hole.
of them into the hole. We push them into their own pit trap.
That would be
Okay.
kind of awesome.
That would mean I'd have to have good
Now, the
strength.
real unfortunate thing here is what we're going to find out is one of them has an ability like what I have, where they can sense humanoids in an area, and they're going to know that there's...
Well, if there wasn't, now there is.
Right?
Good job, Lance.
You're welcome.
Boulder.
just big rock, yeah, just to set it off.
You drop it into the pit. It lands. You hear a gunshot. You begin waiting.
And I assume the two of us are perched up at the top, and I'm perched somewhere I can get the rifle down, and you've got your mortar set up.
Please don't kill us.
And we wait. I will use primeval awareness and to sense them becoming until they get close.
You wait a moment. Wait about 10 minutes, and you do then sense that they are heading in your direction.
You should ask if they're coming.
Are they on their way?
They're on their way.
They're on their way.
An hour and a half passes.
Jeez, they are not quick on the
I mean, why would they be?
It's
They-
5
it's,
miles.
Yeah, it's 5
Steve.
miles, and their prey is in a
In a
pit.
pit.
That's fair.
Which means, Pass Without a Trace is not active for everyone.
True.
So I need everyone to re-roll initiative, or their stealth.
Well,
I'm
hang on.
ambushed.
Do we need to re-roll, or does everyone just need to minus the 10?
Oh, I'll just minus the 10. That
Oh,
works.
perfect. I'm at 10.
17, 21, 10,
What's with that bush
12,
wiggling?
17, 25.
My idea is what I think is I'm probably just fell asleep. Because it's been an
I was
hour
gonna
and a
say,
half.
yeah, some of you guys get bored, you get antsy because you're doing nothing, you're just laying in
You're one of
wait.
the sagebrush is just snoring.
Did that sagebrush just snore?
No.
It's sick. It's
What
real
is it?
sick.
Has that tree always been there?
Sick.
Yeah. Well, you would know.
The tree would know better than we would.
Yeah. The one bush is just like, I'm sorry.
The hour and a half
He's
continues
really sick.
on, and then after about half an hour, you hear some crunching through the sagebrush and the trees, and and you see 3 tall, skinny dudes.
Company men.
You see, they're all wearing overalls and sort of just random shirts. One dude's just wearing like the long johns on and overalls, but they're all like not kept well, little scraggled beards. They all got like rifles and a gun belt around their waist as they begin to approach.
Billy Joe Bob, I presume.
Oh, fudge me.
You're still there. One of them's gonna walk past you and it's gonna wake you up, and you're gonna be like,
Yeah. They get to a point where they sort of stop and start stealthing up towards the hole.
one of them stealthily steps over you.
Well, it seems like someone
Yeah.
fell in a hole. Are you all right in there, fella?
Yeah. Yeah.
Fella!
I'm waiting till they get up to the hole.
One of them like slowly begins to approach and looks into the hole. Are you dead?
I want to push him.
Okay. Roll a athletics check at advantage. He will have straight roll.
So are they like real close to one of the walls of the canyon?
I'll take it.
Oh no!
One of them kind of is, yeah.
I imagine they sort of fan. It's only 40
Yeah,
feet wide.
okay.
I imagine they sort of fan out across
Okay.
it.
So you said just a straight roll?
Mm-hmm.
17?
Nope. Another gunshot goes off.
Oh no!
So as soon as I see you push him, I'm gonna yell from the top, "Throw down your weapons!"
Okay, I'm sorry. Just wake up. I'm sorry.
Not you!
We have you outnumbered wherever you are.
Nah, I'm positive that's probably not true.
Well, so unless I see one of them do anything,
Well,
One of them was...
no, not them. My
okay.
compatriots.
how close are they to me?
How close do you think you would
Do you
be?
want one of them within melee range? You can grapple him.
Well, I was thinking that I would just like poke him with my 4-barreled shotgun.
I'll allow it.
Bink.
He'll turn around and make an
Don't-
intimidation check.
Don't you do it! Don't you do it!
At least 22.
22. Yeah. Oh yeah. He's just like frozen.
Drop it.
You have 3 seconds to throw down your weapons.
You threw Bob down the hole.
Try to
1.
throw us down the hole. Shut up.
What?
2,
Just put
Why
weapons
are
down.
you counting?
3.
Put
Yeah,
down-
there are 3 of us. Yes. I mean, there's.
So
It's 3 hillbillies who didn't realize.
Okay.
I mean,
No, I told them they got 3 seconds to.
they got to 3. There's a thump.
You're also dealing with people who have an intelligence score of 4.
They
Yeah,
didn't
6
throw
times
down their
0.
weapons.
So is that like
I-
initiative?
I don't know.
or-
Do you even want us to roll initiative at this point?
No.
Because I'm firing all 4
I was gonna
barrels.
say-
You're firing all 4 barrels
Firing,
at the
he's
crotch of
firing,
this
I'm
dude.
shooting.
The guy probably does not have enough hit points to survive a grenade, and one dude's in a hole.
The dude in the hole's
The
gonna
whole
live.
same.
Yeah, but no, those two. I was gonna say, like, you're shooting the grenade, you're shooting him, I'm shooting him.
The dust settles.
Oh.
One man has no more middle.
Oh dear.
The other man is a bloody mess.
Can I see into the hole from where I am?
Kind of from an angle.
Do I see
You can
him?
see he's trying to...
I'm gonna put one bullet right above, like, where his next handhold would be. I'm gonna
You
shoot.
stop seeing movement in the hole.
I was just I shoot and I was like, "Don't you move!"
Can I peek over the hole?
He takes a shot but misses it.
Hey now. JT, in the hole.
These poor hillbillies.
Are we
just
the
got
bad
pushed.
guys?
I mean, in their story, certainly.
I feel just right though because I told them to throw down
yeah,
their weapons and they didn't.
just for
and
my
then he
own.
took a shot at somebody.
yeah,
I'm like,
that's a 1 and that's a 3.
That is intent to kill.
That's a triple kill.
Oh, I almost feel bad about this one.
And these
I
poor
do.
hillbillies got
I
bushwhacked.
do.
These poor hillbillies.
Look,
I wanted
they
to
laid
laugh
traps. Most of the traps work against generic people. You all are not generic
I just
people.
feel so bad. Why are we counting? Yes, there's 3 of us. Well, that was 3.
Yeah, I mean, there's more than 3.
I mean, they're
We have
real
you
dumb.
outnumbered.
Like,
Wherever you are.
Wherever you are.
okay, now the part of my body that has a moral compass attached feels like that was harsh. But realistically, if we had brought him back to town, they'd have gotten hung anyway, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay,
Wait, are you saying this loud enough that the people on the top of the ridge can hear you?
No.
probably.
I mean, probably not. They've only stolen gold. But I told them to lay down their weapons and they didn't. and then the one in the hole took a shot at us.
Do we want to heal him?
We shot
They're
first.
dead.
Okay.
This one doesn't have an abdomen.
Oh,
So
I didn't know
Yeah,
that
I was about. I mean, if you think you can save them, you can try, but I don't think they're
Bill,
alive.
let me put it this way. One is shaped like a donut now, and the other two got hit by JT's grenades.
Yeah,
No, never mind. They seem like they're all in multiple pieces, except the one that looks like
And
he's
then-
got like.
if you're looking up, you will watch Winterwolf stand up, and then you will get to see the skylining effect on the ridge as I
that's what he was talking
stand
about.
up.
What?
that's what he was talking
We
about.
just
right there.
murdered people.
Not really. They
There's
kind
nothing going to be anything to bring back. Like, we bring back the
You know
head.
where camp was?
No, there were only 3 of them. We got them.
No, they're saying their camp.
Yeah, yeah. You
Yes.
know where they were camping
You
before
know where
they
their
came to
camp
get
was.
us.
I know where they were roughly. I don't know if that was their camp, but
Mm.
let's,
of.
let's get down into the.
Yeah.
I'm gonna reach down and grab Quienta. My wings are gonna pop out, and I'm gonna fly down to the bottom of the
Good
canyon.
call.
Okay.
Hi, JT. That was a good shot, by the way.
I will crawl. I will climb down the canyon side.
Murder.
Get down the bottom.
Not really.
No, it was.
No. Okay, hey. They were stealing.
Okay.
We caught them.
How did?
We asked them to put their weapons down,
They were.
and they didn't. And then I said, I will count to
Maybe
3.
they needed clarification.
They didn't. When someone says, put your weapons down, I'm giving you 3, I'm counting to 3.
Uh-huh.
If you don't put your weapons down on 3, that's on you.
That's good on murder?
I have never met, in our circumstance where we're hunting people who lay traps in canyons, I feel sorry for them, but I don't feel like it was our fault. They shouldn't have been here doing this.
I don't know.
And we are going after their bounty, so like we're okay legally here. This is not legally murder. Now, conscience-wise, I agree. This was a
I
mistake.
agree. I feel bad for them. They had no idea what they had coming. But they did not listen, and I did not choose for them to be thieves. That was a choice they made, and one of them took a shot at us.
And honestly,
After we did,
actually, technically, there were shots. that
technically
happened.
you pushed first. He fired second, and he fired third.
Right. But when we tripped that
And fourth.
trap, there was
And
gunshot
fourth.
involved. Now that could have just been sound, but it could also have been something tied into that pit trap that could
Also,
have hurt us.
I can tell you how this usually goes for the people in the trap. When they come by, they ask, "Hey, are you okay in there?" And if you say yes, they say, "Great, throw up your weapons and your gold."
I
And they
understand.
lower a little. So like
Like
they are stealing from people.
I understand.
They got
but
what they had coming.
We gave them no choice to even anything.
I gave them 3 seconds to drop their weapons. That
And
was if they had put their weapons down and put their hands up, they would not be dead.
Well, what happens if they weren't listening? And then, because like that, you're a ways away. Not I'm
They
saying,
hurt
like,
me because they responded to me.
But morally, I don't agree with what just happened.
If we could do it over, what would you like to do
I
differently?
would have talked to him first.
And if they tried to shoot you,
That's fine. That's
okay, so
justification.
you need to wait for them to shoot at you.
Well, no, but like they didn't threaten us at all.
They came here to a pit trap.
They
Uh-huh.
had said.
But they didn't threaten us.
They also, when I said drop your weapons the first time, they said we have you outnumbered,
Yeah.
which means they weren't willing to surrender.
Well, I don't think you guys are trying to justify. This.
I'm making sure you understand the difference between I feel bad for what happened to them.
Yeah.
I do not feel bad they are dead because they are thieves.
You need justification?
Yes.
We hired by law force to capture these. Or kill these guys.
This is what we call a
hired-
dead or alive bounty.
We hired to stop these guys. We stopped these guys.
I know, but like
It feels real bad.
alive is anyway.
Alive is preferable when possible.
Oh, it was possible, I'm sure.
I don't think it was. I asked them twice to lay down their weapons, and they did not.
Maybe a few more seconds next time for the den.
So like 5.
Maybe
Count to 5.
Maybe count to 5. That feel better?
I don't know.
It feels real bad.
I think I'm just. I think
I
my
will-
thing
I
is
will
like the
admit-
guy's got to hole him. Right now.
I expected
that's my
them to
whole-
put up more of a fight.
Well, here's the thing, though.
They do have a chance.
I feel bad because they were too stupid to understand the basic directions, and that's where my moral tingling comes from. Is
But
that
they were smart enough to lay traps and steal from people.
And they're relatively decent
And
traps.
and relatively good traps. These
So-
are not poorly made traps.
I feel like there are a few different.
You can still feel bad about it. I just
Yeah,
wanted to make sure
I
you
do.
understood how the rest of us looked at what happened.
This is not a situation I am proud to list on my resume. I also, however,
Resume?
don't feel as though I don't think if you don't understand what somebody means when they say drop the weapons by the count of 3 or I'm a shoot, I feel like if you can't understand that, you're probably not going to make it too much longer anyway.
But we don't know
I'm
that.
actually a little surprised we're the ones who got this collar, because that was real not hard.
That was
That was real easy.
seriously, they would not have made it much longer. We probably did them a service.
I don't think there were any more. We can go
I don't think we're
forward.
running.
We
I don't
can
wanna look
head
at it like
forward into
that.
the canyon and see if we can find their camp,
Yeah, see if we can.
if we want.
Oh, great! We just made 3 more ghosts to haunt the place. Way to go!
Potentially, yeah.
Guess it kind of depends on how that whole ghost things work. I'm curious as to how much of that. Now that's something I'd have asked them if they were putting on all the ghosty stuff. So
Now, these particular
That's
3, I don't feel like I need to bring back a body to be confident in saying that we dealt with the problem.
I mean, you
You
can
wanna
bring back
bury
the
'em here?
shirts. just grab their
The
shirts.
company shirts. Oh, hey, look, they have a company logo.
This one's blown out of the
Anybody
tip.
want anything off the poor unfortunate souls?
No.
What they got?
I'm gonna get some more rifle ammo if they have it.
Yep.
Yeah, let's.
I'll pick up.
Braden, how dangerous were these 3?
Not.
Okay, I was about to feel real bad if we had bushwhacked what you
No.
considered to be a real
These
fight.
guys basically were using traps, and most of the time you're trying to go solo or in a smaller group. They just weren't expecting you guys.
Yeah, player Danny feels genuinely quite bad because the punishment did not fit the crime.
Not at all.
To be fair, though, who knows if people have died in these pit traps? Because some of them
I
just
do
left.
know.
Oh, I'm sure they probably could.
No one had died, is that we were told of, right?
Not that you were told of. One of the dudes did break his leg,
Yeah.
but I will say
And they just left him in the
you
holes,
never know.
so-
You never know who could have just fallen into a pit badly, and
Right, and yeah.
Neko go
Now,
snappo.
I will say there is a piece I forgot. The man I talked to who had fallen into one of these holes had a broken leg. He now has a limp because when they took his stuff, they left him. They didn't even leave him a way out. They just took his
Left
gold
him
and
there.
left
I don't
him.
know.
So I also don't feel quite as bad knowing that they're not willing.
Yeah,
If-
that leg could have gone septic and he died. Anybody could hurt themselves.
I just think it was a very action-based encounter.
I mean, you're dealing with men with guns.
Whoa.
Somebody's got to take the action. They have the option of the action.
It's
of
okay
putting down
if
their
this
weapon.
doesn't sit well with you.
Yes.
I just hope that you don't feel bad about what we did in this. I feel bad that they were here and that
No,
they didn't listen.
I definitely feel bad for what we just did, but I don't know. I won't take part in the money for this one. It doesn't sit right with me.
It's reasonable, sugar.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I-
It doesn't sit great with me either. I'm just.
But the money.
I don't feel as bad as you do.
You feel
'cause
bad about this? I feel pretty okay about that. I feel bad that they got bushwhacked,
They're
but
just.
I feel
so
pretty okay
stupid.
about taking down a group of people who lay traps.
What's
I
that?
sleep okay.
That little saying. Some people say God blesses children and stupid people
Well,
because they just don't know. You
but
know?
these people are smart enough to rob,
That's true.
just not smart enough to not get caught.
Yeah, that's also true. So that's why I don't feel as bad. Did they necessarily deserve what they
If
got?
these were 3
No.
random people that we just met
oh,
on the,
yeah.
I would feel very bad. But the fact that these were 3 people who had caused enough trouble that the marshal had to send us to deal with them. Because that also isn't like they robbed 1 or 2 people one time.
This is a serial thing they do.
If the marshal had
Yeah,
to send
but
us, it's because enough people are getting robbed that it's a problem.
Okay, sure, but
It's all right to feel bad about it though, hon. It,
So
it just
I
means you
assume
got a
we're
little
having
bit
this
of
conversation as we're moving
As we're
down.
moving
yeah.
I
down the
assume
canyon.
so, yes.
Sure. It just it's
I'm
it's
going to
all
keep
right
an
to
eye
have-
out for further
have
traps.
compass.
Oh, and
Yep.
you will.
Keep us grounded, bud.
Keep us
It's all right.
Keep us grounded.
As you guys are going, and you're looking at traps, make investigation checks as you guys are going.
Investigation
Yeah.
or perception? Or
Investigation.
So, typically, there are always going to be signs of a trap.
There are always going to be signs of a trap.
So take proficiency or.
That's only once per day, correct?
Oh, that okay. So it is not. You're probably right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's either once per day or it's like a certain number of times per
It's
day at best.
once per day, if I remember correctly.
Is
It
it
might
once-
scale up, but I.
Is it once per day or once per short rest?
Which
for us
it's
is the
once
same
per. It's
thing.
once per rest.
Okay, yeah.
So. Investigation checks. No.
Well,
6. Yeah,
Okay.
that's a no.
No.
22.
22.
14.
14.
On a short rest.
No. And-
19 plus.
A lot. At
11.
least 5.
Okay. With the professor and Bellamy leading the charge, you guys start making your way through the canyon, and the traps get more creative as it goes.
Every trap we find, we should probably trigger.
Yes.
Oh yeah. You trigger it, and another gunshot goes off. As you guys are going, you can see that they've made like little pressure plates at the bottom, so when something hits it, a wire connected to one of their confiscated pistols
Right,
goes
so
off,
they know
and then
where
they-
they're.
and
I
they know
will
that
take
one has
just
been
a
each of
triggered.
those
thing.
pistols.
See, that is not a thing that stupid people rig up. That is actually quite a clever way of knowing.
I wonder if their whole like their thing was more like just a farce to try and
To be fair,
Like,
they didn't get
no, we'll
to
never
talk
know.
a lot, so you don't know if that was
Hang on,
just one
hang
of
on.
them.
Give me a minute. I'm gonna use primeval awareness again to make sure there's not another humanoid somewhere. Like the mastermind is still.
Sure. You
That one guy.
and specifically, what is it you are looking?
I can sense any humanoid within 5 miles. I know their exact number, where they
There
are.
are. No, you would
Okay.
not be close enough to the camp, so no.
player Danny acknowledges there's another village
Right,
on Joe.
there are no.
Player me
other-
knows that we missed something, but
I mean, we could also be watching for tracks pretty easily. Because they obviously are moving through here on a semi-regular basis. But
yeah.
Continuing on following the traps, no humanoids within the 5 mile
Whoever's in the
radius.
camp is like, it's a gold mine. We've hit every trap on the way. Look at all the money we're about to make.
and take this pistol, and take this pistol.
It takes you 2 hours to get to the through the 5 miles because you're going slower. You're also disarming traps, so you begin to understand why it took them an hour and a half because they had to traverse. There are a lot of traps. Like you can't go more than like 20 feet.
I will
At
grant
certain
those
points.
3. They were industrious. They had high hopes for this endeavor of theirs.
Do you think 3 people?
You put so much work into traps.
Why
into
not
being-
put that much work into? Yeah,
Yes.
that's what I was just thinking. Why not just go get the gold yourself?
Yes.
Although I suppose if I was going to try and make gold off this place, I would probably also stop and rob the people who found it, because that just seems like a more profitable venture.
Does this seem
3.
like the work of 3 folks?
Over time, I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if this started with like 1 or 2, and then they caught some, and they just sort of kept digging them
I mean, I've seen
and laying
holes.
them.
It takes one person like a whole day to fill a decent sized hole. If you got like 3 people going at it with,
And from what it
shovel,
sounds like,
whatever.
they'd been here a while, and they had gotten enough people that people weren't going through the canyon. So it sounds like they've been here long enough. I am not shocked they have built up a large.
How are they getting all these pistols?
Oh, they're confiscating weapons off of
that's
anybody
right,
that they
that's
rob.
right, That's right.
And you're also seeing rifles as well.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, they confiscate the weapons and the gold off anybody that falls in their pit, and then they just leave them.
You know, when we get the chance, I would like to know how many of those we end up with.
Sure.
A lot.
A lot.
They're all in very poor condition, I
That's
imagine.
Yeah, they're
I mean,
all
they're
in
on the
very-
weather and stuff, yeah.
Well, I'd probably say there's like close to like 40 really bad weapons.
Ooh. I
Now,
like it.
I am surprised that they never expanded to a more widespread. Like, the Estrante gang made sense, right? If they probably didn't start that big, but when it proved profitable, she just kept recruiting more people. It was a wider up. This just, I don't know why you would leave it like that. This seems very strange.
So, any ideas for a whole bunch of crappy weapons?
Meltdown, scrap metal.
That's fair.
I mean, I would have left them all.
I'm just splitting them between the horses at this point.
Well, our Tahiti friend might be able to like melt them down. He'll like maybe give us some
I'm gonna
store
look
credit.
at the guns.
I mean, they range from like terrible rusty to like,
Meh.
I mean, like 3 days of polishing
Yeah.
might fix it, but
I mean,
he
some
might
of
be
them.
able to just melt the metal back
I mean,
down.
but I don't know that he like. I'm not sure that he's the one who like forges the gun parts. He probably does his own barrels, but a lot of these parts, I don't know if he's the one who machines them
That's
himself.
fair. That's fair.
He could be. That would be very impressive. I
not, he probably knows
I
who
imagine that's
does.
a pretty big operation for one
Yeah.
man.
He might know who does. If not, and we might be able to get a little bit off of him at least.
Or set our own traps with these crappy pistols.
I mean,
Not worth it.
as a sound.
Prof will
mechanism,
carry them
hey,
as decoy pistols, so if someone captures him and says drop your weapons, he'll drop the rusty ones.
You know, that's
Just
not
drop
a
like
bad
6
idea.
of them.
It's a terrible idea. It is one of the worst ideas I can imagine.
Although, if I'm dropping a bunch of pistols, they've told me to drop my weapon, and I have this massive shotgun on my back.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah, never mind.
And
I forgot
if you're
about
gonna have
shotgun.
multiple guns, right? So if you're gonna have like 2 fake pistols and 2 real pistols, where are you gonna hide the 2 real pistols?
That's fair. That's fair.
Like, at a certain point, you can't keep. And if they see you ditch rusty weapons, they're gonna be confused.
That's fair.
Which could be funny, but not worth it.
No, not worth the bullet hole. I'm real surprised that the gentleman did not drop his weapons when you.
Might have been too shocked to move.
he was probably also trying to compute what a 4-barrel
Oh,
weapon
what
is.
is that?
What the hell is that?
Too much to drink.
You get to the spot where you might assume their camp
Right around
is.
that area.
You
Nothing.
currently don't see anything.
Ah, shoot.
I mean, we could keep looking for their camp if we want. This did take a lot less time than I thought it would. This was a very fast.
Do you think you can just track their footsteps from here and figure out where they would have been base camped?
I mean, I can try.
Maybe give a
It's
shot.
with
figure it
Quint,
out.
and I can try.
Yeah.
I assume this would be survival to track.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Any of the particularly creative traps I'll sketch out.
That is an 18 for me.
Okay.
And a dirty 20 for Quanta.
Okay. Luckily, with that dirty 20, Quienta was able to find it. Quienta starts sniffing around in maybe a half a mile radius as you guys are searching. She eventually gets to a point where she stops and just points at a tree stump.
Oh, we got something. Gonna go take a look at the tree stump.
You said tree stump currently.
Currently?
I'm gonna reach out and knock on it.
Seems hollow.
I'm gonna look for whatever, however it opens.
In true Hogan's Hero fashion,
Oh,
there
dear.
is you pull back on the whole trunk itself, and it moves, revealing a small hole with a makeshift ladder.
Hold, please. I'm gonna check this for traps.
These are some very
Does
industrious
not seem to
hillbillies.
be trapped.
Like,
Okay.
I'm kind of impressed.
Like, these hillbillies should understand what drop your weapons on.
I know, I'm conflicted.
I'm struggling with this one.
It's like they were savants.
It's almost
Traps
like the
of us.
smart one was pushed down a hole first.
I couldn't see it, but when I said drop your weapons, the guy in the hole.
Like, yep, all right.
The other two are clueless, but the
does
guy in
not-
the hole was like, nope.
Does not seem to be trapped.
Okay. Who wants to go down? No traps here.
I'll go down first.
Yeah. You
I
go
will
down
follow.
first, and just the end. So it seems like this was a natural, like, divoted ravine.
Uh-huh.
Not very, like maybe like a 10-foot down ravine, and it looks like they've made like taken wood and strutted maybe like a foot, maybe 6 inches down, and made sort of support beams, and then placed dirt on top of that to make the natural layering.
Uh-huh.
And there's sort of just kind of a little cozy hideout place down here, just some cots, a chest. Little cooking area that kind of like follows the same principles you were showing the other day, kind of
Yep,
making
yep,
smokeless
yep.
stuff. So
Wow, this is actually really impressive. You should come see this.
I'm in.
Yep.
you also see boxes that are full of just like food supplies and whatnot.
Clarence, you want to check it out?
No, I'm good. I'll stay up here.
I'll stay with you.
Yeah, okay.
How many cots are there?
I wasn't gonna ask.
3. I love how you guys are paranoid that there is a secret.
Right, there's a secret
Partner.
for the rest of the game. We'll just be like, but what if there was someone we missed?
There is another
What if
Billy
the
Bongo.
smart one is the one who survived? They're planning their revenge.
Why on earth would you not send everybody
Gotta
else
start
first if you're
poking around
smart?
and see if
Like-
there's any, if there's a stash of gold somewhere.
Yeah, I would check
Maybe
the
a
trunk.
chest, yeah.
The chest.
You check the chest. It's full of a couple of like random odds and ends, and a small sack.
All right,
About 10 pounds worth of gold.
that'll work.
I told you they were profitable.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go through their foodstuffs and see if they've got anything good.
Actually some decent stuff. You see like there are a couple cans of just like homemade canned fruits.
Oh, damn. So, to the two of you up there. Oh wow, look at this. This looks good. We're taking this.
We're taking this.
I'm just gonna like pat you on the back and walk you away from the whole.
Yeah. Probably wise.
It's been a day. It's been a day.
You're like, and now we're stealing from them.
One-
We're the thieves now.
You see one crate that's just filled with salt and then salted beef inside. Like maybe like 15 pounds worth of just like steaks.
Now, if I recall, you want fresh kill for blood, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Otherwise, that's just gonna be like, look what I found.
Yeah. No, it's not just food. It's
Yeah,
so
it's
when
20
your
pounds
wolf is going,
per
so, like,
ounce,
he-
Keith.
That's what.
It's 20 pounds per ounce. Times that by 16.
20 pounds
Times
per
that by 10.
You mean 20 ounces per pound?
20.
Is it 16
sorry,
ounces?
16
1
ounces.
ounce is $20. Times that by 16, and then times that by 10.
So $20 by 16 ounces by 10.
Yep.
$20 by 16 ounces by 10.
Is it not working?
I think
or
it was
is
3,200.
Yeah, it's another $3,200.
Jeez.
Yeah. Well, as long as you can turn that gold into cash. Here. So yeah, while you guys are doing that, Winterwolf is going, and like he sees what it is. He takes a couple of the steaks out and like wraps them up, and I'm looting all the good foodstuffs.
Yeah.
Do you want to maybe see if we can find something that I can munch on?
Oh, sure.
Catches you a lizard.
You guy.
I can't even bite into that.
One tooth.
Yep. I just puncture him.
then we
should
also
watch
have
it.
lizard jerky afterwards.
Yeah, see?
Like a
Everybody
Go-Gurt
wins.
packet.
And the tail pops
That's,
off to
that's
the
if we
top.
find you a snake.
No, a snake is
That's a Go-Gurt. Full on Go-Gurt.
Lizards are like gushers.
It's not about.
Yeah.
So I assume we take the gold.
We
I'm gonna
take
come
the
out.
gold.
I'm gonna come out, and as I come up for you guys, I'm just gonna be like, look, I found peaches.
we're a ways away at this point looking for any kind of game.
He still does it. He still does it.
No, I do because I think you're right up there. As I do that, I get up and I'm like, what? Where are they?
The horses are all still here.
What are you doing?
I think they're probably trying to find Profa drink.
Oh, fair.
Except for I don't know how many animals are going to be here because they're trying to avoid like all the
Yep.
pitfalls.
And
All
people.
the gunshots
Interesting
that are just
you
gone.
asked.
Uh-oh.
You would catch this because of how naturalist you are.
Uh-huh.
But the two of you, as you were sort of looking, there's no animals in this canyon. And you don't think it's because of the traps.
Uh-oh.
It's weird.
How late's it getting?
Let's see. You guys...
Let me rephrase that. Do I
Got
think we
there
can get
to
back
11.
out of the canyon before nightfall?
Yeah.
Okay, so it took
Easily
us
enough.
3 hours to get here, an hour and a half waiting. Well, the time frame of like
We spend
scouting,
more time outside
and then an
the
hour and a
canyon
half
than we spend
waiting
inside
for
the
them to
canyon.
come,
And then
another
2 hours to
2
get there.
hours to get where we're at now.
And maybe another half hour of searching around to see if you can find the entrance.
I'm gonna come look
So it's
for
about 3-ish. So you could probably get out before night.
Okay, I'm gonna come look for these two yahoos. Bring the horses along.
Hey, have you seen any animal tracks at all?
There are no animals in this canyon. Of that I am confident.
Huh.
Also, I'm gonna pull up peaches. They had canned peaches down there.
I'm not gonna mention that. Probably means somebody had some wine.
Oh, and I don't know if that'll help you.
Yeah,
If it'll
fair
help you.
stuff
And I will pull
going
out
on.
two steaks that I wrapped. Be like,
Or
they had a whole
Mom.
package of these.
Sweet
Not
mom
helpful for my
said-
particular predicament, but probably very tasty.
Fair enough. Oh, and we found
Maybe not their wives.
we found
That
another
stolen
bag
from
of
people coming through.
10 pounds of
Oh,
gold.
see, there you go. There you go. They stole that.
Uh-huh,
yeah, let's say that.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Somebody
They
whose
stole the
wives
peaches.
were kind enough. Their
Possibly.
sweet mother had
Yeah,
made
no, if
that
I saw them, I
stuff.
would steal them too.
Yeah, totally. They nabbed that off of somebody.
I mean, I don't know if I call it stealing since they're dead, but I basically did that, yeah.
I don't feel too bad. I don't want to go and waste.
Sploosh.
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 Yeah.
Sploosh.
Sploosh.
Holes.
Sploosh.
Holes.
Oh, right.
That's exactly what I thought of when we...
Canned peaches.
So-
Sploosh.
Fun
So,
movie.
which way? Back way we came?
I mean, I don't... As far as I know, there's nothing for us to... I mean, I don't think they have a second hidey hole.
No, but I want a hidey hole like this someday. This is nice.
It was... You should take a look. It's quiet. I am...
And now that there's other people to distract
I
him, I
am
will go down
even
and
more
check it out.
confused as to what happened because this is quite the feat of engineering.
Pop back up. I like it. I would love to read a book down there. I'll close it back up.
It's a lovely little book nook.
Hmm.
It is the truth.
Well, yeah, I say out of the canyon. I see no reason to stick around and find out if it's haunted.
Also very true.
That's what I'm asking. We go back way we came or go
I'd
forward?
say back the way we
I
came.
mean, we're like 5 miles in, so.
Hmm.
You're about half. You're about equidistant-ish
From either
between
direction.
about halfway.
either.
I mean, back the
Timber
way
Pine
we
or
came
Fool's
is
Gold?
closer to Fool's Gold, and then we could turn that into cash, maybe. Yeah, we found 10 more pounds of gold. They did very well for themselves.
I can't imagine losing 10 pounds of gold either.
And these are like nuggets too, as well, because in the earlier days you were able to find like big nuggets,
Yeah.
more than
Imagine
just like flakes
flakes.
as well.
Imagine
so.
losing almost 40 pounds of gold.
Well, I'm
After
talking
you-
about the folks at Fool's Gold.
Oh yeah, no, like
that's
that.
gotta be.
That, like I said, this is not just some small time bandit robbery. Like this is Quite the problem.
Operation, yeah, this is a big thing.
So do we want to try to deal with the other one since we've still got time once we get back?
Not yet, recoup.
I think we head back towards Fool's Gold to see if our friends are still there.
Double
Just because I'm curious. Also, if they're not, that's the best place to turn the gold into cash, I imagine. Wait.
No,
No,
Timber Pine.
Timber Pine is where we did it last
Yeah.
time. Never mind.
Yeah, I don't know if we want to do that
Because
from the people who stole it.
No
from.
one's getting gold.
Right, because they all had to
'cause-
leave.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we maybe want to swing by because it's on our way. The Dalton gang is potentially quite a ways off.
Like, how far are we talking?
I'd say at least half a day to the. I found out where crossings over the river were.
Mm-hmm.
How far?
It's
are we?
about half a day to get to the general area where you guys.
And
kinda
then it's
think
going to
they
be a
are.
matter of searching it.
Yeah, it's half a day just to get across the river, and it's a pretty big area. We might be there a little while.
That's fair.
Luckily, I can probably make that tracking of them a little more efficient, but it's still a big area. They are also the much more violent of the gangs.
Which leads me to believe that that's the one we want to get rid of the most, then. I mean, these are good
Well, I
folk
mean,
getting
at
robbed.
They're the
this
last
point,
one
they're the last
left.
gang left.
Yeah. But, like, if we were going to get rid of one, I feel like it needs to be that one. Because,
That or the Estrante gang was, I don't know if I'd call them violent, because that was not their first solution, but they were not afraid of employing violence. And they were very large. They were... that camp was at least 60 people.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like,
And that's
we're-
not
we're-
even counting the people who you killed.
Yeah, and we're talking like they had brought in working girls, they had like a saloon running, like it was a full on
It was
operation.
yeah, definitely.
We got very lucky that we were able to convince them to not fight us.
But this other group is smaller, just...
This other
smaller.
group is Joshua Dalton and his 5 kids, but each kid is supposed to be like some 6'6" massive giant.
And apparently quite skilled at some kind of combative. What's that?
Kung Fu?
Karate.
The hell is kung fu?
That's very racist.
Wasn't supposed to be.
Unlike your entire portrayal.
Wasn't supposed to be racist. It's just an art form.
It's not racism, it's a caricature.
Okay, but meantime, head back to Fool's Gold.
Yeah, or at least, I mean, we
Or
have
the
to head
range
back that
check-in.
direction anyway, see what's
Well,
there.
well, no, because the other end of the canyon heads towards Timber Pine.
Yeah, that would put us closer to Timber Pine.
Yeah, so if we're going back to Fool's Gold, we have to go back the way we came.
Yeah.
But we don't have to. We can circle back around to the main road. But
Yeah.
we don't
Yeah,
want to
there's
do
no-
that
there's no
because
reason
we
to-
may run into some angels.
Yeah, back the way we came is fine.
Yeah, I'm not looking
Charlie's
forward to getting into
Angels.
this town, but
So we're heading back towards
Alright.
Fool's Gold.
You start heading back towards Fool's Gold. It's a lot easier going through the canyon now that you
Now that we
like
know where the traps
know where
are.
the traps are, and going back takes me 5 hours to get back.
it's dark.
And you are
At
back
8
in
o'clock?
Fool's Gold.
8, 9 o'clock.
Well, so I'd probably say we go back up on that
the
bluff.
ridge.
Yeah, back into the
Take a
bluff.
look into town.
Is there a town left?
There's still a town.
Oh, good.
Is there still a gathering around the saloon?
Not currently.
But you said that they
They stopped last night, so that's no guarantee. We'll have to see in the morning if they
Yeah.
go back.
well, should we set up watches then?
Sure.
Yeah.
I can take first
I
watch.
got a bad feeling about it. I really do. Us leaving this early, or us leaving like where we're at here, and not about just what happened, about the whole like that too.
That's
But
also fair.
I'm meaning more like I don't know. I feel like maybe the ridge isn't the greatest idea and place to be tonight.
I mean, that's fair. We can pick it. We can move to not use the same campsite over
Yeah.
again. That's
Yeah.
actually a very smart move.
Look at you turning into a little survivalist over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll scout out
I mean, from the ridge, can we pop our heads up and see any good hiding spots?
We don't even we can probably just go the other side. So there's the town, right?
Mhm.
There's the river that comes by. There's the town. We're here. Could probably just circle around to the other side of town.
Over by the river?
Yeah,
Sounds good to me.
That works.
Certainly.
We can catch some fish. Do you like fish blood?
Not opposed.
Mhm.
It's not my favorite. The fishy taste, but
you feel like you guys will be able to find a good spot without my help?
Yeah.
I can go try and catch you something to quench yourself.
anything that's big would be wonderful.
How big?
Go catch you something.
Like you want a deer?
Think large dog to deer. Yeah.
Okay,
Just make sure you don't get hurt. Take care of yourself.
I'll be fine. So Quanta and I will go hunting while they go find a campsite.
Roll a survival.
Should we go find ourselves a hidey hole?
Hattie hole.
Let's do it, chance.
18.
I really liked that place.
That was a nice little cozy spot. I do feel bad about it.
Every once in a while, somebody's like, "No, it's okay. It's okay to feel bad."
You guys they're gonna find a spot on the bank of the river.
Mhm.
You're able to find one quite easy. In setting up camp.
And of course, Prof being who he is, he's like, "Well, we want to make sure that we're not by any of these eddies. That's a place, standing water. Anywhere there's water, there's a good chance of mosquitoes." And
Yeah,
he's just
accurate.
chatty.
I just want to go fish. Fishing sounds nice.
You
I'll
do
fish
a
with
little bit of fishing.
Shotgun fishing.
Winterwolf, you're able to find. What do you think you'd find?
I mean, if I can, I'll bag a deer.
I'll say you're able to bag a deer. As you're prepping it to move, Quanta sort of is looking off into the woods, sort of kind of gently squinting.
Oh, Quanta, don't do that. What do you see? She can communicate basic
Right.
ideas and
Something big.
Big.
like bigger than a bear,
No.
like bigger than this deer.
Yes.
Oh, she seems so
Does it smell
confident.
like an animal?
Yeah.
It's a big bear mountain man.
Does it smell like the big bear man from back in town?
No.
Oh, good. Oh, this is a very, very poor idea. All right, let's go track it.
Yep.
And I will stealthily try and track and see if I can't find out what this thing is.
We track into the Mothman.
Exactly.
You begin tracking it.
Yeah, stealthily.
All right, roll a stealth first.
Are you gonna pass without a trace yourself?
No.
Oh, for hell's sake.
Those are pretty dice.
They are. These are actually the first dice I ever. No, the second pair of dice I ever got.
Very pretty.
That is a 26 for me and an unnatural 20 for Quanta.
Okay. As you were traveling through the woods trying to track it, you don't see any tracks.
No, look at Quanta.
Did you lie?
No tracks. Can you smell it?
Kind of going forward, you guys continue to track it.
Yep.
At a certain point, you have passed the same tree 3 times. Begin to realize that you both are circling each other.
Oh, that's
I
great.
love how you realize it before whatever it is you're tracking realizes it.
That's not what he said. He didn't say that I knew first.
That's true.
How big is it?
Quinn shrugs.
How far from the river am I?
let's say like 500 feet.
I'm gonna head and try and cross the river.
Yeah. Continue with your stealth. Okay. Okay.
It goes this way, and then 2 seconds later I go past it.
Once you get across the river, is there anything specific?
So once I get across the river, I'm gonna hide in the tree line, but I want to turn around and see if I see anything, because I'm assuming if it is still tracking me, it will track me up to the river, and then I will be able to see what it is.
Yeah. You wait a little while.
I'll use my rifle scope if I have to.
Okay. And then very gently, sort of, one giant hand along 6 feet up the tree, sort of grabbing another tree and looking around. You see a 7-foot
Owl man. An owl? Just an owl. Or like the owl
I mean, it
man
has hands.
hybrid,
It has
right?
hands.
Because it has hands. So like an owl man.
Sorry, my apologies. He's currently indisposed right now. You see a 8-foot tall giant rat.
With hands? No!
With
No!
well, rats sort of have rats
Rat paws.
rat paws, sort of looking around, sort of like
Yeah, I told you guys
massive
about
rat,
it.
sort of not even like fat rat skinny, sort of fat rat, you know, like rats tend to
Yeah.
be fat, sort of like skinny and lithe, sort of like a sort of Slenderman-esque.
Yeah.
Sort of just like peering around. Its eyes are just like 2 red dots as it sort of, with its not black but like dark brown fur, just sort of looking around.
Hi, child.
Before it just like takes one, like what would be a gentle step back and you completely lose it.
Oh, that's not good. I'm going to, as stealthily as I can, move along my side of the river until I can find their camp.
So that's actually a theory of convergent evolution. Things that have evolved to be similar, even though they're not the same. We think about scales.
You arrive back in camp maybe an hour later.
Well, so I don't even come into camp yet. I'm
Okay.
going to watch for a minute across the river and
Okay.
see if I see any sign of my friend.
Make a perception check.
Well, that is only a 13 for me, but that is a 21 for Quanta.
21 for Quienta. Okay.
Oh, hang on, I have my rifle. Well, no, I probably would have done it.
Well, what did you
Never
get?
mind. I got a 13.
Okay. As you guys are on the other side of the river, Quienta sort of stops and sort of gets in front of you, sort of in a guarding position from the water.
Oh, fudge.
You don't see your friend with the red eyes. You do see, however, a weird shift in the river in front of you.
The water snake.
These water snake.
Anything else happen?
You just gently see like when water moves, when like something pushes through it.
Does it look like the thing went further down the river?
Looks like it.
No. Well, this
And
is...
then we're fishing.
Yeah, right where we're
As a
fishing.
side note, Bellamy, did you tell them about
Haven't yet.
Baum der Welt? Okay.
Have
This
not
is
yet.
such a not good thing. Well, that's. I have.
Catch that one.
Catch that one.
I was gonna tell them tonight when we all
One
settle
second level
down.
spell slot. They're in the water too.
The redcoats are coming. The redcoats are coming.
Alright, I'm gonna pause a little bit longer just to make sure that the thing doesn't come, and then I'm gonna try and ford the river into camp.
Yep, you tried fording the river to camp.
Oh hey, look, there's Winterwolf.
You were able to.
As he's walking through our fishing spot.
Gwent actually beat you to the other side.
As soon as I get out, pack up, we're
All
leaving.
of the-
Pack up, we're going. Pack up, we're going. We're leaving.
Okay.
We're leaving right now.
All right then.
I'm taking you didn't find anything.
Oh, did I find things? So many
I
things.
take it you
I
left
didn't
the
want.
deer?
Yes, when I realized that I was being actually, I probably kept the deer until I got to the other side. When I saw that thing in the water, nope, nope.
Okay. By the way, it saw you.
The thing in the water.
The rat.
The rat. Oh, I'm sure the rat.
However,
saw it.
the rat's smart enough to know that it's not going to do well trying to get at you when it's trying to ford a river and you have the gun.
So yeah, Winterwolf just comes. He's like, "Pack it up. We're leaving right now. You have 30 seconds. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go."
You have 3 seconds. Drop your weapon.
You had 30 seconds.
Where is the body and where is the bag of bones?
Still on the horse?
Okay, are they on the same horse?
No.
Great,
All the bones,
put 'em
all
on
the
the same
bones would
horse.
be on the same, wouldn't it?
The bones are all together,
Yeah.
but they're not with
Great,
the
they need to be on the same
Birdman.
horse.
Okay.
Yep, and we're leaving right now.
Okay.
Okay.
I will explain on the way, but we are going.
Okay.
Right.
And I will use my last pass without a trace so for the next hour, and we are moving stealthily, because if I'm leading us, we can move stealthily and be at regular pace.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, really good.
Man, I'm really grateful for your pass
Prof.
without a trace.
You move the bag of bones
That's
to
my first good
the one with the burned
Stealth
body.
roll today.
I'm assuming that's the one I'm riding on.
Yeah. Bag feels lighter.
Uh-oh.
You open it up. Nothing jumps out at you.
But we're
Kind
missing
of-
some.
I'm not gonna reach in.
Are you gonna reach in? Okay.
I was just looking.
You see the skeleton of a human. You see a perfectly normal human skull.
Just hang it on for now.
I ain't gonna tell nobody.
This goes with me to the grave. And I'll tie it back on.
Good.
I'm glad that I drew that out. But once we're on the road, then I will.
Where are we going?
We are running back to Timber Pine.
Okay.
All the way to Timber Pine.
Yeah, so once we're on the road,
Okay.
and as we're going, I'll be like, so I was hunting for your food, and Quinn noticed something was in the area. It was really big, and against my better judgment, although this is probably a good thing, we decided to go take a look. And I realized that whatever it was tracking me while I was tracking it.
Oh.
So I crossed the river, and what I saw was a, what was it, 8 foot tall?
8 foot
It
tall.
was about an 8 foot tall rat man. Lithe, sinewy.
Like a 7-foot tall bird man.
It's what it made me think of. Yeah.
Charles, okay.
And okay, we're coming back to that. So when I realized what it was, and I thought of our large birdman, and realized that they were probably looking for us, I followed along that same side of the river. Right before I forded into camp, something rather large went by through under the water past our camp.
Oh, that's what we saw.
The current?
So
Like when the
I
current goes
back?
suspect
Yeah.
that they are looking for either the bones or the body.
Probably not the bones. Those are regular ass human bones now. I will untie it and sort of toss the bag towards you.
What in the
You see a human skull roll out of the bag.
Well, we're still writing, so if it rolls out,
Oh,
it's
right.
rolling out on
Yeah,
me.
I
Never
know,
mind, never
I
mind. If you're
assume I
writing,
open
yeah.
it,
You
that's
open
what I
it
see.
and you see, yep.
Well, that's weird.
Maybe we got
Have you
cursed for
checked
killing
that?
innocent people.
Have you checked that body?
They weren't
Again?
innocent people, huh?
I have
I
not
feel bad.
reopened it now
They're
since
not
the
innocent.
autopsy.
Okay, well, and I will toss the bag back to you, and I'll say we're keeping those together, so if we have to ditch them, we can easily. But yeah, so we're riding back to Timber Pine and then some. we're gonna go visit our I forget her name now. I have
Lily in the water.
Yeah,
Are we
we're
sure?
going back to Lily in the water
That seems like a real solid
because
plan.
that's the only person I can think of that will maybe know what this is.
And I need a story told.
And we are not stopping because there's a giant rat that apparently has a name following us.
Yeah. So, okay. So, Miss Mary told me that Louisa Carroll was getting back with her and they were all chatting and talking about this fairy tale thing, right? That the owl reminded her of. And this seems to fit in with that idea. Now, she did not tell me specific stories, but apparently there's a collection of stories wherein it is around the world tree. So I definitely think we're heading the right place if we go back to Lily in the Water. But apparently there are a few different characters in this. One of them was Sevrax, the owl, up in the
Who's
limbs.
no longer in the bag.
As a
Uh-huh.
side note, you are right. Sevrax's scarf spelled backwards.
Anyway, so
That's
there's
amazing, and I also spelled it very wrong when I wrote it
That's
down.
fine.
there's Sephrax, the owl.
Yep. There's like an eel snake thing in the water, Suffocatus.
You guys have heard of Suffocatus.
When did we hear about Sephrax?
You remember because you decoded on the back of the Hofstadter Mining and Land Company.
Right.
I'll reread it. Lunaris metals, the seven travel untouched and unchallenged. Suffocatus hungers for pets. Get it done or you're forfeit.
Hofstadters are involved. That's
Okay,
worse.
so there's Suffocatus, the large eel snake,
Yep,
water.
There is a rat in the roots named Charles.
Charles?
Okay.
Yep.
Sure. And then the moth Lunaris.
Great.
Who's not a moth?
And Arachna, the spider, that writes all of the shenanigans down in her web. So,
We're in paintings?
You know anything more about anything associated with these? Like, is our friend the owl a justice or greed focused?
I don't know that. I'm gonna talk to Miss Mary again if she is not currently indisposed as we're going. I do, however, know that the author was cited as Hofstadter,
But Hofstadter in a different world, right?
I guess.
How old are these stories? Like, is this like a modern, contemporary storybook, or is this like a Hofstadter wrote down?
I'll have to ask to be sure, but the way she was talking about it would have guided me to believe that they would have been like, you know, the grams, they're little stuffs and whatnot, how they make big circulation and all of that. They were a little bit ago. I'd say there was at least some time for it to gain popularity because she didn't know the stories backwards and forward, but she recognized it, then had to go to somebody else.
Understood.
I'll have
Great.
to ask, but
As your heartbeats begin to slow down, you watch as just time seems to slow for you guys.
Damn.
But you do
Feel
watch.
Damn it.
Kind of, yes. However, you watch as almost like you are slowed and they are hasted. You watch as two scared individuals on horses with breakneck speed ride past you.
Is that
Oh.
Lust and...
Is
Yes.
Sloth awake?
Oh,
this is happening.
Sloth is awake.
and terrified.
He is has like you watch as he's terrified and is actively is ahead of Lust and is actively running.
Oh no.
You watch as they come in from behind, go past you, and
Just like,
go off into the distance.
What's happening?
After about a 30-second time of that, you guys return back to your hearts beating as normal, and time is back to normal.
I never thought I would be more scared of something, but now I am.
I'm guessing we should run.
Wait, I thought we were already. I don't know how much faster we can
We
go.
will kill our horses if we go too much faster.
Those horses are dead. They're running on nothing but adrenaline.
The only saving grace right now is that for the last hour we have not left any trace of our passage.
That's real good.
That's true.
Let's keep up with that then. Holy crap! I wonder if your
I
rat
don't-
man's behind us. Why would they be scared of their own shit?
I don't know.
I don't want to know what could scare those angels.
Agreed.
I mean, I don't want to know it personally, but now I'm deathly curious about what it is.
So, when we inevitably have to stop on occasion to water the horses,
Yes.
the first time we do it, I am using Goodberry and making Goodberries for all the horses
Okay.
and giving it to them so they get the equivalent of a full rest.
Oh.
And they're rest, refreshed, ready to go.
That's
Alright.
smart. That's real
Genius.
Okay.
smart. Actually, that's
That is why I took that spell, so that we could have the ability to get enough food and water and rest.
And rest. What are you thinking over there?
Just keep looking back over his shoulder.
You're usually very like not quiet.
So
No, he's real chatty normally.
You want to talk to Miss Mary
All right.
and find out
Maybe.
anything more about what we're dealing with?
Yeah, ask her if they're giant rats.
so as
in
to
the
not
store.
like pass without a trace.
Right.
Miss Mary. So all of this is like stage whisper.
Well, you usually
Whispering.
you can talk in your head. It's just you usually.
I just
Just don't.
So occasionally you get
I will
little
take the
mumbles.
reins of your horse so you can be doing
Yeah.
this while we're going.
Miss Mary. Miss Mary.
Yes.
I'm real sorry.
Well, it is fine.
Not as sorry as we are.
So, you know how you were talking about them fairy tales?
Oh yeah, Bomb der Welt. Yeah.
I'm gonna need as much information as you possibly have, because they're not fairy tales in my world.
You should fill her in on what's following us.
Oh.
Something is following us, the Ratwin Childs, I believe.
Charles.
Charles, whatever.
We also saw the water snake.
And the water snake, although
And the
seeing
bones
is
of
more
the-
in the dry area.
You should tell her that we have a body that was turning into an
Oh,
owl.
yep, we do have a body that was turning into an owl before it became a dead body, and now it's no longer an owl.
All right.
She wakes up, she's like, what is this call? And it says,
This is gonna hurt.
What now?
You trust me.
Sure.
Okay. Well, that sucked. But hi.
Is this is she is this Danny talking to us as
You see,
And you're currently
Bellamy
in
is talking to
wherever
you
she
not
was.
in a
not as Bellamy.
not as Bellamy, not in the southern accent that you know Miss Bellamy to talk to. Hi, what's going on?
Okay, long story short, we have a body that inside was slowly turning into an owl. We had a skeleton that was a person becoming an owl, but is now back to a regular person. I was being tracked by a giant rat man, and we saw the giant water thing go by, and we just saw the angels Lust and Sloth book it out of town faster than us. We currently have the bones and the body on our horses, and we are running.
Fascinating. Okay.
I'm Clancy.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, by the way.
Oh, hi, Clarence.
My whole brain's all messed up.
So we
I
don't
saw
know
trauma
what
today.
they are or why they're following us,
Okay.
but they were tracking me earlier.
Okay.
Tom.
Tom.
And I've got a journal of a guy who was a priest who was normal until 6 months ago, then he became a raving lunatic
Okay.
With feathers
okay.
in his
Okay.
locks.
Okay.
and was
Jeez.
obsessed with fighting greed.
She is. This is her bread and butter, so I'm gonna roll on her.
So when do you
Actu-
guys do
okay.
good for us?
All right.
I don't want to find out.
From what you've told me, it seems like there is the equivalency of the world tree scar echo here. So imagine your world is like a fruit.
Peaches.
So let's say an apple.
Okay, sure.
On an apple, there's always a stem that connects the tree to the
Yep.
apple.
Yep.
Basically, if what you've told me is correct, right here is where the stem meets the tree.
Okay.
Which means this is where all of the entities, like the bugs of the tree, the eldritch beings,
Okay, yep,
the
very good,
strange
sure.
buggery happens, and this seems to be where it's located.
Okay.
These are facsimiles of the inhabitants of the tree.
Okay.
So, you did meet Lunaris, right? Or at least
We
an echo of
met
Lunaris.
something that definitely looked like him.
Okay. He's the only one you're going to be able to trust if you meet again. Lunaris is more of a scholar, sort of, he thinks himself a witness of different things. He's actually a kind of nice guy. The owl, Sevrax, is sort of a very law-abiding protector of the tree.
Or was
Eats
until
all
I
of
got
the,
killed.
the bugs. Oh, this can hurt later. Lunaris is basically the one that taught me how to do this. My version of Lunaris, so this is why I'm able to do that. Oh, geez, your gravity is weird here. Okay, Suffocatus is just a weird, evil thing that just wants to devour everything in the tree. Childs is, sort of like evil rat. Or just sort of chaotic. Arachna, not bad. Just is more like a witness to what's going on. Ow.
Would they be looking for us because we have that body and those?
No. If it's a new host has been chosen for the Sevrax's herald, I guess you could say. Hey, oh, ow, yo. Okay, give me a second.
One
Ah,
second.
Bellamy, you return back to. It is like painful.
Okay, I'm back.
Are you alright?
No, yes.
When we stop for the night, I can check you out.
Okay.
Okay.
Are we
Yes,
stopping
based
for the
on
night?
that, we can
We
stop
will
for
have
the
to
night.
eventually.
I will sort of lead us off the trail a little bit so that we're not right on the road. Slow down, come to a stop. Okay, that is somewhat useful, although I don't know that I would call the Lunarius we met trustworthy by any stretch of the imagination.
I
But
mean, he didn't mess with us, really. He just showed us what we needed to see.
he didn't mess with us in any way we noticed.
It's fair.
I'll give you a hand down from your horse. Oh, you can continue talking. Where does it hurt?
Yes.
Okay. So we will start with your head.
Specifics.
So it feels like your what you're feeling like is like someone took your head, cut around it, like all of your skeleton out of your body,
Oh.
and then tried to stuff your bones back in through the holes it created,
So-
and
so
maybe not
nothing-
all everything is back in normal. It just doesn't feel like everything's
Yeah,
back in
it's,
normal.
it's for your body. It's the equivalent of moving the driver's seat, and it'll never be back exactly the way it was supposed to.
Yeah.
I feel like everything just got rearranged inside me from the neck down, and my head is splitting.
Actually, your head's perfectly fine.
Never mind, my head is not.
It is
Your
splitting.
head
Perfect.
your head
Yes.
swapped for
Everything.
a little while.
Ugh. And what did I see when I was in her world?
Nothing is in her world.
Yeah.
You were just sitting in her bedroom
Because she was sleeping.
because she was sleeping.
The only thing you could move was your head.
The only thing you could hear was the gentle, soft snoring of the what you would refer to as Vern, sort of sitting in the bed, sort of gently snoring.
How does Vern sleep through, like, you bolting upright in the middle of it? Never mind.
She just sat there for like.
And then after
minute,
about
2
2 minutes, you
and
kind of
just
come
like-
back.
Okay, to fill you in on what I have questions, but what whoever we were talking to told us.
My missing head lady, yeah.
This is the area where our apple connects to the tree, the world tree. So this is where like the stuff comes through. So that's why the creatures are around. They're like echoes of like, what was the word she used? Facsimile of the actual whatever they are. The rat is chaotic. The snake is evil and wants to eat everything.
Where did
The
you got that?
owl is obsessed with like justice. She said we could trust Lunaris, and that Arachne is fine. She just sort of watches stuff.
Kind of neutral. That makes sense for somebody who's just recording everything.
And apparently they are not hunting us specifically, because even though we have those bodies, she said if a different vessel had been chosen, then these are no longer of any concern. Now is a great time to check the body of the priest and see if he still has the weird stuff.
One moment. Take a deep breath. It's gonna crack your neck a little bit. You're real tense. Not that that's a surprise, but try to relax for a minute, and I will go. And we will check the body.
You see, he still has the feathers in his lungs.
Seems, I would say fine, but seems the same as it was before.
That's a better way to say it.
Braden,
Yes.
were there any native stories about like these spirits or something similar?
Yes.
Okay.
It's said that it's said that there is a reason that the tribes of the world, the tribes of the Native Americans, did not use rat, snake, owl, moth, or spider.
For any of their...
There actually were. But they were not great tribes, and long ago they were killed.
Alright, I have a theory.
Body back up.
It is a crackpot theory. Somehow, our priest friend was involved in the death of the owl man and got cursed or punished for it.
I mean, I guess it's as logical as anything else.
And because a different host was chosen, that's why all the stuff happening to the skeleton went away. But why he still has feathers growing on his insides.
I mean, he's dead. That's probably not going to change at any given point now, but...
No, yeah, but like if he was becoming the new host, I would have expected it when he died for it to like swap to the next one. Right? Like, I don't know why one skeleton would lose all those features, but he wouldn't if he was the next host.
Right, yeah, no, he's not the next host. But
that is my theory, is he somehow offended or was in an altercation with the original host, although I'm not sure how that works.
Because he was not just or something like that?
I don't know how that works, because she also didn't say we could trust the owl. But
Just that he was lawful.
yeah, but I
Very
feel like
much
being
lawful.
lawful would make you more trustworthy than Lunaris, who does
I
not
guess it
seem
kinda
lawful.
depends.
You got the distinct impression that Lunaris only cares about the tree on the insect scale, in the essence of eldritch beings and stuff like that. It might not care about bacteria.
And she did say that the owl is like a protector of the tree.
So not necessarily bad, not necessarily good, but
Now, I still think we need to head and see Lily in the water, because if we're about to embark on getting bark from said tree...
yeah, and we were supposed to go back to her anyway, so it kind of works out.
I mean, we'll
Just
be early, but...
yeah.
But it makes me less worried that we are actively being hunted. Now, I don't know why those two got out of there like a bat out of hell.
I mean, didn't... The snake thing is like collecting, eating pets because it hungers, right? So they didn't want to get eaten.
I mean, but they didn't leave beforehand.
But stuff didn't get crazy until
Until we ran into the rat.
like today or
True.
tonight. So
I also don't know why all the stuff is all sort of showing up now.
Yeah, the timing is convenient.
But anyway, so if we run into the rat or the snake, we run. If we run into the owl, maybe we run. If we run into Lunaris, I don't even know. And if we run into the spider, we're probably okay.
So we can leave this bag here. The bag
I
of prawns.
still want to take it because I want to see if Lily in the Water knows anything about it.
That's fair.
Maybe now it is just a regular, but it wasn't before, and maybe that'll mean something. Now, who exactly was it we were talking to?
Oh, that's the lady in a different dimension. It's like what happened when my head got sawed off and put it on another person.
There were a lot of words in that sentence, but I'm not sure I understood them.
And you think I crazy?
I think you're both crazy in different ways now.
I mean,
The problem is her crazy tends to make a lot of sense.
I don't know. Her crazy talks.
it does.
Yeah, but it talks about things that make sense, like explaining why there are giant rats following me.
It's true. It's true. So, she okay, so.
Well, it's okay. Well, sorry. I
Oh,
don't
no,
mean to
you're
interrupt.
right. What,
Why specifically was it tracking you, though?
Okay, based on what she said, I'm guessing maybe our paths just crossed.
You also went after it.
Yeah, and when I ran into it, I started following it. So maybe it noticed that I was following it, so it started following me, and then I noticed that it was following me.
And I noticed it was following you.
I noticed because I passed the same tree a couple times and realized that we were on the same track with each other.
so okay. Now, some of this gets a bit over my head. Hey, my head. Anyway, I gather that in the universe there are a few different ways that life could look, or I can't decide if I think that it's multiple versions of a reality, or if I think it's like multiple worlds that are kind of living through the same things. Maybe to even say that those are two different concepts is to just be splitting hairs. I don't know. But at any rate, there is some kind of reality kind of layered on top of ours, right? Like if there's two little, I don't even know what analogy I was about to use for this, but I have a funny feeling it's about to fall apart. I mean, take two sheets of paper, put them on top of each other, right? Like you can have the same things mostly written on them, but then change a few details, lay them over the top of each other. They'll look pretty similar, but they're going to be a bit different. So I think our pages overlap, and every now and then, because of our proximity, we can kind of scooch back and forth on the page. So I think I, like this version of me, effectively was in existence in whatever that world is. And that version of me got...
JG looks like he's getting a headache.
Just imagine what it is on my end. That version of me got its head cut off and was reassembled onto some other bits and pieces and spare parts to a more complete person. So she is very similar to me, and I think has, I forget, like correct me if I'm wrong, DM, has a lot of the memories that I would have had.
Yes.
Like they're a little different, but there's a lot of similarity to them.
Yeah.
From when she was in fact my head, but now is kind of a different person, but still a lot like me, because she's still got my head. And all of this has been the thing that I've been talking to forever, but it was wearing a hood because I guess it didn't want to freak me out, and it never actually spoke to me outright. And I forget why that changed.
You asked it who it was.
Oh, I guess I finally got silly enough to ask it who it was and show me its face, and I was like, oh shit.
So
You demanded an answer because it disappeared when the first angel, when you encountered the couple of the 7 deadly sins. So
Yeah.
you are talking to a you that's not you, but has pieces of the you that was you, but in a different world.
Yeah, and I think she's a little farther ahead on the timeline than me too. So it could also be that it's my actual head, but fast forwarded in time. I don't think that's quite right, but it also might not be quite wrong.
I need drink.
Okay, so how do you know that, like, why would what she knows in her world make sense for us?
That is a fair question. Whatever this overlap is, our worlds are similar enough. Either they are the same world and she is fast forwarded, or the worlds are playing out similar enough that there are these points of reference that make sense. Like they're grounding points, I guess, where the things that we observe are.
It's real coppery tasting.
Yeah.
I think that go bad.
Which one did I give you? So he's storing it. He sometimes stores blood in there. So his whiskey has a little bit of bloody taste to it.
Did you enjoy that?
Take
Oh.
like I bit my tongue.
My tongue is stomach.
So yeah, I think that there's either it is one of those things where we are behind in the timeline, so she knows and can make sense of it because it's her world, or they are at least close enough that we're finding some connective tissue between those spaces. Like, you know, if we were two different fruits, if we're going to go with her silly analogy, and I don't know if this is going to work out for me or not, but I'll try it. Like, you've got the stems and everything, right? We're two different fruits. We look about the same, but, like, we are different things. You get us back, though, we got the same branch connecting us. You got to go
Branch
past the
of
stems.
the world tree.
Yeah. I don't know if that works, but it kind of sort of makes sense in my head anyway.
I'm glad it makes sense to someone.
Like, we're still connected by something, right? We still have some kind of a vascular thing that's letting us, like, connect. And that would be the branch. It's not, we're not connected as close as a stem, but we got something connecting us. And effectively, we look pretty dang similar because we're both fruit.
Little
But
fruity, yes.
this is the part where the stem touches the tree.
Guess we both got stems.
I am so confused about everything I have ever known. Now,
I've just gotten accustomed to that state.
Quanta, did that make any sense to you?
Gwen just stares at you.
You get it, right?
Oh, look, a rock.
I can't decide if that is a yes, but I'm not allowed to talk about it, or no.
You know Quanta long enough that you think Quanta is just like, I don't even know what you were saying, and just like pat like a stick.
Quinta's like, I'm sure you believe
I
those
sure
words.
believe those words. I'm a wolf. I have an intelligence of 6.
Here you go,
Or
sweetie.
8 maybe.
I pick up the thing and throw it.
No. So, okay.
So where would you say that your head begins? Okay, so like mid neck.
Yeah. So, okay, give me some context here. Like my head begins
That
like
was
just anatomically right here. Oh, you mean like in the cut off version? Yeah, like right about midline of my neck.
okay. Fascinating. And placed on another body. I can't.
Actually, Prof, you would probably know this the most. Make a medicine check.
Not good.
It's 11, so.
7, actually.
Oh, you only have +7.
Oh, wait. I gotta use my intelligence for
Yeah.
that. So +8. So, yeah, 11.
11? Okay. Continue. There could have been a little thing you could have caught, but no.
But it was the brain, not the head. But. Okay, so we've got. Lunaris was called a spirit. But we were told by Havel that he was like a chaotic spirit.
We still got a Happle somewhere.
He is with the other professor,
That's right.
Micmac.
McMack. Professor McMack, yeah.
So the Rosettas had interacted. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
We talked with him about like the Rosettas, and there was issues with like people trying to make spirits like not make them mortal or put them in like physical.
Basically,
Control
to
them.
control them.
Yeah. So Lunaris is a spirit, and so it would follow that the other gaggle of creatures
Things.
are spirits,
Makes sense.
which is not the same as angels.
Correct. I don't know if they're... I wouldn't say that they're an order above or below, but maybe adjacent to.
And apparently the spirits are all like part of the world tree?
They're
Or
at
are
least
part of the world. And they are perhaps in some way like...
Right, but
Connected
her
through
world
the
had a
tree.
story about these same creatures, and she called the ones we were seeing facsimiles.
Yeah, and like the ones, they all have connections to different areas of the tree specifically. So like Cervax or whoever, Cervax is kind of in the domain of the branches, right? And the rat is in the roots. And the eel is in the pond that sits at the very bottom of the tree. Like everything's got a place in the tree. Or at least adjacent to the tree. Their roles seem to revolve around the tree.
Yeah, so if our world is, as this analogy was going, is an apple, it is, in theory, identical to any other apple on the tree, with some small changes, based on environmental circumstances or, outside influence.
Right,
But could also
Genetically.
be pears or oranges on the tree.
If a branch was grafted onto the tree, yeah. But in theory, though, the idea being that the DNA, the core of the world, is the same, right? So you would have your same core characters that would stem from the stem. So
Okay.
your rat, your snake, your whatever.
So the owl wants to protect the tree.
Was it specifically the tree it protects, or it's just protecting everything?
Good question.
It seemed like it was protecting the tree.
The tree.
Okay.
But it wants to protect it from what? From the snake that wants to eat things?
And generally, but the snake... I mean, in general, but yes. That is one of the
But the
threatening
owl
factors.
here is only a facsimile of the owl.
What mean?
I have no idea.
It's like copy.
So like every apple has its own owl.
Right.
Or a version thereof, like in the timeline that Miss Mary was talking about, it could legitimately have just been a fairy tale, but it at least lives in people's minds enough that they can regurgitate it and like tell it as a story, so it still exists. But that one's like an imaginary facsimile Unless, of course, like it actually happened. But like,
See, now I just want to ask this owl questions. Like, why would the owl not want to be? Why would the owl be worried about people being greedy?
If indeed it was, and that was not just part of whatever curse affected
And
the
like,
priest.
why would the rat? What does the rat do?
So, do I know of any stories from home that link the idea of birds with fire?
I mean, a
Fire
phoenix.
birds?
Phoenix.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what if priest not turning to owl? What if priest turning to phoenix? Different bird, different idea.
Yeah, but he still had a weird. He had a weird shrine to an all-seeing owl.
And
And
the
he had the
body,
body
of
of
a human
a
owl
human
stuck
owl.
in a chest.
Like, I'm with you. Maybe he was not turning into an owl, but
maybe
he
was
had
trying to-
owl things.
Maybe he was trying to turn into an owl. Like maybe he killed the one so that he could take its place. I mean, this is pure theory. I know that it's kind of reaching out into nowhere.
Okay. So what's the rat's job?
That's a good question. Did she actually say it?
All she said was that he was chaotic.
And that he lived in the roots.
Yeah, you lived in the roots. I don't think she actually said one way or another. I don't think she told me what his purpose is.
I mean, if we were to follow this, perhaps through to a point where it is starting to get distorted, a rat living on the roots of a tree would be eating the bugs that might otherwise eat the tree.
That would kind of make sense. Like there are some things that it would be controlling, even if it itself was not necessarily good. Doesn't mean it's bad for the tree. It just means it's, you know.
But again, that might be taking this analogy too far to the
Yeah.
point where
Also
it's
a little
absurd.
confused because like why would the tree want a eel snake thing that eats stuff?
Oh, I
that
don't know that the
destroys.
tree wants anything. It's a tree.
Well, yeah, but if each one has like their own role that they play. And then this leads me to my question of what role does Lunaris play?
It's a fair question. I got nothing for you. I'm sorry.
I mean, humans tend to create stories about things they don't strictly understand, and that's why you have folks making religions, and the fact that we call those things angels is sort of a silly callback to a religion that it does not apply at all to the religion, but it stems from the same mythology.
So are we gonna have to contend with the owl if we're gonna get bark off a tree?
I'd say the chances are good, because why would anything happen that works in our favor?
Well,
That's
now
not how
that's
stuff
just
works.
grim. Why'd you say that? Like, I mean, there are plenty of ways it could work in our favor. If it knows that we understand who it is and we're actually trying to help protect the tree because we think that there are people that are out there abusing it, might go just fine.
Yep.
Is there a possibility that it won't? Sure.
You know, prior to tonight, I felt like I had a pretty good handle on this whole angels thing. And there were angels and there were spirits. And the angels were like more powerful than the spirits and were a problem. But now I'm just all sorts of confused. What's going on?
You know, I just go through imagining that I don't really know anything about what's going on, and it leaves me a much happier person. Like, I want to know what's going on, and I am willing to entertain notions all the time because I am consistently surprised by this bizarre place I am in. But, yeah, it tends to go better for me if I just assume I'm a blithering idiot.
Okay, so she said that this is where, like, here is where the stem connects. So, like, this is where the eldritch stuff comes through. So if we get far enough away, does that just not matter anymore?
Or matters less, maybe? I don't know.
Maybe.
I hate to say it, I kind of wish Lunaris would show up so I could ask him questions. But
Well,
that
you know, I
seems
can
like a
talk to
bad
Mary
idea.
every now and then. Lunaris, you out there?
Would you like to make a persuasion check?
Sure.
Now, Danny, I'd like to remind you on what you rolled. for
Oh,
your-
you want to use your natural 20?
Oh. Well, let's
Or your
see what I
actual
roll
natural one.
first. Yeah, like, I wonder. Let's see what I roll first.
If you roll a
It's
natural
not
one
bad.
on summoning something, you summon its opposite, right? That's how that works.
Well, it is already a 23.
Okay. Do you want to still spend the natural 20?
I mean, you get one every day in
Yep.
game.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, what's
Do
the
it.
worst
We're at the evening time. We're going to bed.
Yeah.
Sure.
Worst case scenario, we summon his
Isn't
opposite.
it?
And then we have to face it
Oh, it
next
was
time
a
we play.
natural 20.
It is actually a
What
nat
is
20?
your full bonus with a natural 20?
With a
persuasion?
natural 20, that would make it a 28.
Braden just
Okay.
never actually lies about it, but he just makes you
He's just
convinced he
convinced
is.
he is.
He's always
I
very,
see
very
the game you
truthful.
play. Lenars? Anybody out there?
Lunaris.
You know, I don't think I.
Okay, after a certain number of times, we should probably stop saying the name of the Eldritch being who
Yeah, if
meddles
it's like a
in
Beetlejuice
things.
thing, I want to make sure I'm not like.
I'll hold up my book.
Oh wait,
I have no.
Hold
Oh,
on.
son of a bitch.
Wait.
You see a moth about the size of my hand just start fluttering around
Holy crap! I can talk to Eldritch beings.
before
I'm gonna pull the jacket on and
Yeah.
melt into the darkness.
That's a good
before
idea.
going behind a tree.
And then
And then stepping out from behind that tree, you see a gentleman wearing a black Victorian long coat, sort of a nice Victorian styled vest, wearing like a red knit beanie that sort of has like the long back to it, sort of just down to about his shoulders, wearing black round glasses, sort of slightly pale, and you can tell that he has no hair on his head. You see
I can respect
a gentleman step up.
Wow, you clean up real nice.
Well, it doesn't help when it's you who's calling.
It doesn't help. Wait.
My apologies. My name is Lunaris, as I'm sure you all are aware of. What questions do you have?
hang on. Why are you willing to answer questions?
As she asked.
Yeah, what are you?
Why am I special in this? I suppose we can start there.
He sort of takes his jacket off and sets it on the ground.
He's
And
ready
sort of-
for a long explanation.
And sort of like sits cross-legged.
Whittles out a
all of you.
chalkboard.
To answer your question, the reason why I am a spirit originally from this world. However, the Rosettas sort of overcharged my spiritual energies, and I became a world spirit. Or a Leviathan, is it sometimes called. And basically became one with the world tree. So, that answers your question.
I feel like it gave me 12 more. How am I tied in with that?
I had a relationship with a version of you in another world, and that didn't go so well. And I'm sort of tied to you through various things.
Does he
It's-
look like Vern? Does he look like Vern?
Kind of does. If Vern had more of a fancy mustache and beard.
Vern.
Oh, so you've met one of my versions, I see. Oh, you must be connected to Mary, right?
Yeah, it's real weird.
I imagine it is.
I'm not crazy.
Well,
This does nothing to soothe my... Okay, so you were not always part of the world tree stuff,
No.
but now you are,
Yes.
but it's as if you were always.
Yes. Time does not exist in the realm the world tree lives in. It's sort of a constant. So when I arrived, I was always part of the constant.
Okay, and there are like, who knows how many fruits hanging off this tree.
Well, I know how many. However, I probably shouldn't say.
And we're just one fruit. But you originated from this particular fruit.
Yes. I wouldn't, please.
he's writing so many notes.
I know it's complicated, but just please ask.
Okay, why is there a rat man, a snake thing, and an owl guy?
Yeah, what are
Walking
their
around town.
purposes and
So, every version of the world, or the worlds that are on the tree, have their own small, tiny version of the world tree.
Called it.
It's sort of like how it connects to the world tree itself. The reason why there's weird creatures is because your version of the world is more on the eldritch branch of things. So their versions coming and look more eldritch. So that's why they sort of look more scary looking, is because of that. But also they're more like guardians of the gate on like a smaller scale.
Okay. So I feel like we understand the owl man pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Protect the
Yep.
tree.
Yes, he is more of just keeping balance.
How on earth?
And there have been
how,
individuals who have tried to use the world to themselves, and it's never fun seeing a little small man being crushed by a owl
Okay.
when it's occurred.
And the spider writes stuff down.
Yeah, she has a small little nook high up on the things, and she does nice little like motif web drawings of things that she has seen and witnessed in some of the worlds that she's sort of looked at.
she makes webtoons. Sorry.
I guess kind of.
Why the snake eel thing?
It's always been there. It's just waiting for, like,
Does it have a role in the ecosystem?
it does. So, one of the big things that Sevrak does is he will catch worlds that fall, not from the tree, but just in general, and he will take it and bring it into the tree. These are worlds that have just, like, float around. The rotten ones, they fall off the tree and Suffocatus eats them.
Okay.
It's a garbage
So he
disposal
eats
for
the rotten
worlds.
trees and catches the
Okay.
not rotten
Right.
ones.
But don't worry,
That's not true.
your world's fine right now.
Okay.
Yep.
What
Totally
does the
comforting.
rat do?
Oh, Childs,
Yes.
he just exists.
There's not a purpose.
There's not
to
a
it?
purpose. He just sort of,
exists.
well, he just sort of lives in the tree and just does whatever he wants to do.
What is your purpose?
Apparently to track Childs.
I'm
Evidently.
concerned
Oh, you
with
guys, yeah, well, that version of Childs is a lot more darker than actual Childs. Childs is like he does slightly have a purpose. He is a collector.
Okay, hang on.
So he will-
So you said that. So like, are you Lunaris, the world spirit, or are you what was the word she used? Facsimile.
Oh, no, I'm not the facsimile. That dude's crazy. But,
Oh wait, so the one on the ledge, the ridge, that was the facsimile?
yes, he just likes watching tragedies happen.
Hang on. So there's you, which is actual you, which
Yes.
is originally from this world, but there's also a different you.
Did he come here from a different world?
He's my version of the World Tree Guardians. I'm technically now part of the World Tree ecosystem.
Oh, so it's like you had to have a new representative out here.
Yes.
Why'd you pick a batshit crazy one?
Look, they just happen.
Oh, it just happens. Okay.
And seeing as this is the Eldritch Blanche, he has a fascination of tragedy. So
Can we apply for like transfer to a different branch that is less terrible? Okay. So you're the big you, not the small you,
yes.
who are totally disconnected from you.
Mm-hmm.
But you, big you,
Big you.
like her
Hi.
and had a relationship with her. Not small you, but big you did.
How do I put this? You know what she does, like brain talk.
I know she talks to other people on other fruits.
I can do that. Like, I can take my mind and place it into the world and become like flesh for a little while.
Shard.
Okay.
And I did fall in love with a mortal who was a version of your friend here.
And now you just answer questions for any other version of her when they ask nicely.
I'll bet my eyelashes.
I
have
do
real
feel a
nice.
little guilty on what happened,
Oh
yes.
dear.
Okay. So, all the things we're seeing and we're dealing with are the local versions of the big them that are potentially completely unrelated to how the actual big them work.
Okay.
Am I understanding that correctly?
For the most part, yes.
But related.
So, but there always has to be one, because, like, we had the bones of a dead owl man.
Yes, there always has to be a guardian, so it moved and shifted to someone else.
Have you ever heard of anything? Well, I mean, I guess if you are a part of the World Tree, probably you have experience with this. With someone who has an infatuation, we'll say, with one of these.
That or do something they shouldn't and get cursed or go mad upon seeing the truth of the
Call it
world. Unlike you all who are slowly introduced, there are some people who are just like, and this is how the world is, snap back into reality.
Right.
Oh,
Don't
that
let anybody
was
see my
very-
notebook.
Okay, so basically he saw stuff he wasn't supposed to.
And
Potentially related to why he had the bones of an owl man in his trunk.
He was probably saw a greater truth and was slowly going mad about the truth.
Wait, am I gonna like slowly be filled up with like? No, I'm not gonna say that. That's gonna sound foul.
So
On
because he went
false.
mad, he started growing feathers in his
Foul,
body.
Yeah.
That just happens when you go crazy.
Well, if you
That
specifically
would be kind of
like
crazy.
accidentally kill one of these things or something happens like that, I would assume so, yes.
Wait. So if you accidentally kill them, then you just grow feathers in you,
You get some kind of curse.
Well, you get
or is it
cursed,
just
yeah.
it's just okay?
It's just a curse.
curse.
Yeah, you called
Okay.
it on that one.
Yeah, makes sense. I can follow that.
Okay, so I'm following this.
Mm-hmm.
You're familiar with the seven deadly sins, like the angels?
I am aware of them, yeah.
Everybody's talking about dinosaurs.
Is there? Oh, it's a phone call.
Yeah, phone call.
Okay. Is there a reason why angels like that would have to freaking hightail it away from these little, like, don't mean to make it sound like they're diminutive. They're terrifying.
Small guardians.
Small guardians, yeah. Like,
Local
are they
guardians.
so terrifying?
Lowercase G gods.
I mean, I don't know. None of you have officially met Lust and Sloth. You saw them. Of the 7 deadly sins, those 2 are the least harmless ones.
The least harmless? The most harmful?
Sorry, the least harmful ones.
Okay,
That
there we go.
tracks.
They're not in the proclivity of eating people or killing people to get their stuff.
Right, they're the easiest to live around.
Yeah.
They're the least violent, the least combative.
Yep.
So they just ran because stuff was showing up?
I mean, so did you.
Yes.
That's a fair point.
So did like stuff manifest all of a sudden? Like why didn't they run sooner?
I think they just manifest sooner.
So they're not the guardian things aren't always kicking around.
No, only during the last third of every month.
Of every month?
Why?
Because that's when the moon's not full.
Oh, son of a bitch, we are gonna have to deal with them to get bark from a tree.
Yep.
Okay.
So if we were to get like bark from the world tree,
Yeah.
we're gonna be like tested by them in some way, fashion, or form.
I have no idea. Sorry, but
Okay, hang on. What's your job? You're part of the world tree ecosystem.
right. I don't know if I technically have a job per se. I'm more of
Historian.
historian's good,
I
but
thought that was the
that's more Arachna's job. I'm more of, I guess you could say I go to worlds and try to fix them from becoming rotten.
I mean, a true historian or an Aristotelian.
Right.
Someone who puts it into action. Not just somebody who records history, but a historian who is involved in history.
Okay.
So allow me to put this in perspective of an apple. I don't have an apple, but with this rock.
You
But this
literally just
this rock.
appeared out of
Yeah,
nowhere.
I am a member
I'm
of the
sorry, I can turn from a moth into a man. I can't turn a rock into an apple.
Not a judgment, sugar. It's all right. Sorry. Okay, maybe it was a little bit of a judgment.
Well, let's say rock apple. The more little ants or eldritch beings get into the apple and start eating at its core, the more rotten it's going to
Sure. Yep. Uh-huh.
be. And then at a certain point, the world will fall off the world tree and will be consumed by Suffocatus. I, with what powers I have, try and give people a heads up or help them in some way to avoid the apple or the world to become rotten and done, fall and be destroyed by Suffocatus.
Okay, so when we had a message that said that Lunaris metals, that's like
Yes.
you, not small you.
It's okay.
Well, small.
In the margin of my notes,
in
it now just
small
says,
me,
powers do not
it-
include apples. To
So
rocks,
there's
or rocks.
small me, which is the facsimile that just is around the stem. There's a medium version of me, which is basically me just meddling around. But there's also big me, which is in World Tree World.
Okay, so you're medium you.
I'm medium me.
And small you is like if you had never been a world spirit?
No,
No.
because he's still a guardian of the local tree.
Right.
That's
Yes, it's complicated.
complicated.
Got a lot of different tiers of structure.
And angels qualify as eldritch beings eating the core?
No, those are just a natural thing that happens to the world.
Okay, so the 7 deadly sins, not eldritch beings.
No,
rotting the world.
they're just natural things that occur.
What is
in
an
the
example
world.
of an eldritch being not rotting the world? To date, I have seen angels, I have seen a rat man, I have seen the remains of an owl man, and apparently those don't count.
Right. Well, there are kind of not small, but there are equivalency to, like, imagine Suffocatus had children and they were worms, and those worms can try and get into an apple to infect it from the inside and destroy that. That's a version of that. Your world, it would be sort of like a like imagine like the Rat Man or the Owl Man, except not here.
What do you mean?
But not here around the stem, but within the rest of the world.
Oh, so like the stem is not a metaphorical, it is literally like this is the part of the world.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh. Then,
So the Guardians attempt to keep things from coming through the stem, but it happens.
okay.
Mostly it happens when the moon is a new moon and Sevrax isn't looking, because, as always, all owls must sleep at some point. And and when you actually see like a small sliver, that's when he's awake and doing all of the stuff. A new moon is when things are able to try and slide their way into the world.
How wonderful. So if people said that you were meddling, that would involve eldritch beings, not angels.
Yes, I've been stopping some eldritch entities from coming through.
Well, that leaves me more questions, but not for you.
Okay.
I mean, we might have more questions for you eventually.
I imagine you will.
Thank you for deigning to come
Dinosaurs.
answer her questions. I'm so glad that I was around to be able to hijack that.
Yeah, thank you. He's got some questions he's desperate to ask.
Yes.
Dinosaur.
Dinosaurs.
Uh-huh.
Eldritch beings. Dead eldritch beings.
Chickens.
Okay.
What's the link?
Chickens and dinosaurs?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's always an evolutionary process and things change over time. In theory,
Nope, wait. Not in theory. That is already the theory I have. I need you to confirm my theories.
and you believe that
Don't you feel
being
like this is kind of cheating?
I mean, absolutely. But it just, if I'm wrong, he can tell me that I'm just wrong, and then I can work on something else.
I mean, I haven't been watching or doing that in the world that long.
Right, but don't you exist at all times?
But not in this current world.
He snaps his book shut and just sort of like sullenly sits there.
But
Okay.
you... I'm sorry.
You're fine.
Okay, last question. You were a spirit, you got supercharged, that made you a world spirit. What were you a spirit of?
Didn't you know that at some point?
I don't remember.
Fire.
No, maybe not.
Huh.
You know, little campfires, the fascination of the fire.
That was a lot more mundane than I was assuming the answer was going to be.
Same.
Okay.
Why? What did you think I was going to be?
I,
Yeah, stroke my ego. What do I...
you are the small and medium versions of you are strange random people who show up, one to help, the other to make weird paintings about tragedies and walk off a cliff for no apparent reason to turn into a moth. I could not see what spirit you could possibly have been.
I mean,
A moth?
fire's chaotic.
Fair
I
enough.
mean, fire is honestly pretty powerful when you think about it.
I just not what I was expecting. I was expecting something a little more esoteric and mystic.
I mean, that is fair. I did too, but fire's pretty damn impressive the more you break it down in your head. a lot of stuff going on there.
Just want to no.
I feel like I'm probably gonna see you again.
Probably.
I don't mind that. You're cute. Don't be a stranger.
Oh, so when she said we could trust Lunaris, she meant medium-sized Lunaris and not small-sized Lunaris.
And probably. I don't imagine that small-sized Lunaris would intentionally do anything too batshit crazy like to harm us, but also
Well,
he seems a bit batshit crazy.
and her
Her small
little size
Lunaris
is
might
gonna be different.
Yeah.
I mean, you could technically trust small Lunaris. He's just going to be
less
crazy
helpful.
and tragedy focused.
Yeah, less helpful.
So, well, I think I answered all your questions.
Oh, no, I have one more actual question. Can we apply for a transfer to a non-Eldritch focused branch?
I'll see what I can do.
Does that even exist?
I mean, nothing's impossible.
Can we apply to be in the everything goes
However,
right?
I would say that you probably should deal with what's going on here first.
It's fair. I mean, realistically, I feel like we would trade problems.
Like
We just end up with different
the
ones.
7 deadly sins, or
I mean, the 7 deadly sins are always bad. I'm referring to the 7th.
The what now? The 7th?
which is not an angel, I'm going to assume.
No.
Huh.
Wait, what now?
Oh, we learned because we met Pride, so we realized that the 7 angels that got released, one of them was not Pride.
Yeah, so there was 7 things there. 6 of them were.
Oh.
Which might also defeat the purpose of building an angel killing gun.
Not entirely. Because we still need to deal with the released 7 deadly sins.
And if it can kill the angels, then maybe it can still kill whatever was like captured in the same way that the angels were.
What would happen if we shot you with it? Not that we intend to. To
I
be,
will not
to be
allow
totally
this.
I
clear.
know, a valid question. I would probably die,
Okay.
and it might take me a while for me to telepathically come back to this world.
Cool. I wouldn't do that or relish the curse that they might leave me with, but
Oh no, yeah, no. It's some people have tried.
I was just
It
curious.
is fascinating to see someone get ripped apart like a cocoon and a moth just come out.
That is gnarly.
Yeah.
We would not attempt that anyway, just so you know.
But it is important to understand the entire ramifications of making this thing.
Well,
I have learned a lot.
My brain
A
hurts.
fire hose.
my apologies, but you did ask.
My head was the
And
only thing that didn't hurt
I
before.
guiltily felt obliged.
I appreciate the good job guilt tripping the man.
You always try.
Well, we appreciate the help. You want to leave any words of wisdom to help solve our eldritch being problem?
The eldritch being problem. Good luck.
Don't
That's
die.
great. That's my favorite thing, when someone just tells me good luck about my problem.
Dan, if you end up with any advice or anything, just maybe pop back in and say hi.
Is there anything we can do for you?
Oh no.
I can share all my notes.
What your country can do for you.
What if he asked you to erase all your notes?
I just asked if he would like any help with anything. I didn't say I was gonna do it.
I'm gonna smack you
I
upside
might
your head.
need you to use that gun at a certain point.
Well, we do intend on using
I
that. gun
believe
at a
the
certain
intention
point.
is to use the gun
On who?
potentially 7 times.
Well,
Or more.
Who do you got in mind?
I mean, I'm still trying to track the 7th, so...
Well, I mean, our goals are the same then, so.
Have you tried interrogating Hofstettlers?
Oh, like half of them don't even know. And unfortunately, my friend, our friend Charles Hofstetter is sort of dealing with some eldritch stuff with Suffocatus right now.
Yeah, we need that, unfortunately.
Now, when you say dealing,
He's made a deal with Suffocatus to...
the literal sense, okay.
Yes.
I took it as such when we read the thing and once we figured out who Suffocatus was, but I figured I should verify just to make sure I was understanding clearly.
Yeah. So...
Wait, so the small U can do what it wants, and big U wouldn't, like, big Suffocatus doesn't need to step in and stop small Suffocatus from being an eldritch
Crazy.
being that's rotting the world?
Well, they're not technically eldritch beings rotting the world. They're sort of small bits of whatever.
Right, but, like, that's not, like, there's no need to step in and prevent...
The world from rotting?
There's no, like, quality control on what small U's do?
No.
It's just a fruit. The fruit falls off a tree. Yep, isn't that lovely?
He will stand up and brush off his jacket.
Well, thanks.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help more.
I think you cleared up a lot.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm
Drink for
stick
the
my
road?
hand out for him.
I'm fine. Look, I'm a being of cosmic power, and the last time I had alcohol, it did not go well.
Hang on. Windwolf's gonna rifle through his bag and pull out the can, like, peaches.
Sure. I'm sorry, I did not partake. However,
No.
the last
That's
time that
fair.
happened, let's say a very expensive ship sank. So
The Titanic.
you
Which
would
hasn't-
know that.
As I say,
technically, yeah.
which hasn't sunk for us yet.
I hold my hand out. Well, it's a pleasure to see you again.
Of course.
We should do this more often.
Yes.
Kiss his hand. Give him flowers. Men need this too.
I give Keith flowers.
I bid you all adieu. I have to get things ready for 1888. So, as
Yeah,
he
that meant
turns
nothing.
into a moth and flies away.
1888 what?
I got nothing, man.
You all ponder on what was said. You all have a rest. And I think we're going to end there for tonight.
Oh boy.
Yeah, a lot of lore dump, but you asked and
We did
Okay,
ask.
the rolls were in your favor.
That is going to be that's going to be it for us for this episode. So we will catch you guys on the next episode of Derringers and Desperadoes. Be sure that you are tuning into the Discord to know when our regularly scheduled weekly live sessions are. And since you're here on our YouTube channel, be sure that you hit like and subscribe. Turn on your notifications, and you'll always know when we put new content up. I think that's pretty much it. We're going to call it a session and call it an evening. And until next time, just have yourself happy trails. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.